Cultfigga TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Yao Ming of Revolution, and we got to get right into this information today. We got to get right into it, but before you do, be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know Cultfigga is live. Kamala Harris, the Democrats, and the Boule exposed. They licking their wounds. They tried to manufacture lies about this ambush that took place yesterday. The sorority sisters and the fraternal brothers, they thought they were going to get away with lying to the people. And now the people is upset. Black people like us, very upset that they're being slandered by these Democrats and by the Boule. They warned them they don't like the policies of Jim Crow Joe. And this lady, who they know is an Indian lady, won't be sold as anything else but an Indian lady. And they're very happy Trump exposed her yesterday. And it's exposed and continue. So let's just start the show, y'all.
I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are idiot.
Yes.
Because you are idiot.
Yes.
Because you are idiot.
Yes. And the ads is coming. You see, the Boule and Kamala can lie to the people, swindle the people, scam the people, don't pay attention. But the ads is coming, going to be run on TV over and over and over. Her saying she's an Indian lady, not a black lady. An Indian lady, not a black lady. An Indian lady. Her being interviewed, and they're saying, how do you feel to be the first Indian senator? She's like, I just feel so good, to be an Indian senator, And like Trump said, the black stuff, they tried that later on when it was convenient.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian, but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes, you look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people.
That's a family. That's a family, Indian family. Her father is an Irish Indian man. He might have some Jamaican in him way down the line somewhere. Her father's an Irish Indian man. So she's never going to be able to produce no black pictures of the culture. No, because this is the pictures that she produced. Because she's an Indian lady until it came convenient.
We're related already, so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so, were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food.
Certainly, you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Huh? The ads is coming. You were representing yourself as an Indian lady until it came time to be a DEI hire for Joe Biden and say, okay, I'll be a black lady. I'll be a black lady now to be the vice president. But everybody else was celebrating her as the first Indian senator in the United States Congress.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman. She was a woman with a heavy accent.
And her mother, Shamla Gopalan, was also the biggest influence in Kamala Harris's life.
The answer is absolutely yes, Joe.
After the big announcement, Harris's sister wrote in a Twitter post, "You can't know who Kamala Harris is without knowing who our mother was." In 1958, a precocious 19-year-old Indian, Gopalan traveled thousands of miles from her home and family to pursue a doctorate in nutrition and endocrinology in America. She soon became an active civil rights crusader while studying at UC Berkeley.
But once she went there, she almost felt free. And she took part in politics. She used to bring whole series of literature, leftist literature from Karl Popper's, he was a great philosopher.
In her book, Harris says, "There is no title or honor on earth I'll treasure more than to say I am Shamla Gopalan Harris's daughter." Harris's visits to India with her mother kept her connected to her roots. Her grandfather, who had strong views on humanity.
Just like Nikki Haley, real name not Haley, it's an Indian name in this country. Don't accept that. So Nikki Haley changed her name to Haley so America would accept her. She tried to pass as a white lady. Kamala Harris did the same thing. She didn't grow up with her daddy. They don't like each other. Why is she still using the name Harris and she's married to a Jewish man with the last name Hoffman? Or she's one of these modern women. Why is she using her daddy name when she was never a Harris? She never lived with her daddy. She never was around her daddy. Why is she using that name? Because using that Indian name wouldn't have gotten her anywhere in the spheres where she wanted to go. So they purposely used the name Harris.
Humanitarian issues work closely with officials to reallocate refugees. Their conversations had a strong influence on her.
Those walks along the beach in India really planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me before I even realized it. That has led me to where I am today.
Harris's maternal uncle, Gopalan Balachandran, who lives in Delhi, tells us how the senator turns to her amma,
That's her name, Goshalan Jalin Bandra. That is her name, Kamala Goshalan Jalin Bandra. See, they don't want to say that. She don't want to say Kamala Shalin Jalin Bandra is running for president. That even a Democrat might say, wait a minute. New York City get the rope. Come on now.
Mother in Tamil for guidance even after her death.
I don't have to tell her, make your mother proud. She said, what are you telling me? Everything that I do, I ask myself, would Amma approve of this?
Kamala in Hindi means lotus flower and is an important symbol in Indian culture, rooted deep in the bottom of the river. Very similar to Harris's Indian identity, which she wears on her sleeve.
If you missed today's events, oh my God, did Donald Trump just absolutely drop a nuclear bomb on Kamala Harris? There's her birth certificate. And it's amazing to me how he surgically destroyed Kamala Harris today.
Oh man, she don't got blood.
This afternoon,
you don't got black on your birth certificate. You a white Indian lady on your birth certificate. This type of stuff is disgusting. Like Trump said, then when it came to convenient, you all what your birth certificate say.
Venture into the belly of the beast. He went into the lion's den. And it's funny, my intro that I put play is he's the last man to fall, the last person to fall. They took a shot at him. He's still standing, the last man to fall. And he walks onto that stage after they made him stay backstage for 30, 45 minutes, whatever they said the problem was. They said there was a sound problem, but they kept Donald Trump waiting. They didn't let the thing start on time, and he had to sit there and wait. And wait, and wait. And then finally, he got to go on stage. And the first question out the box, this highly aggressive, highly disrespectful, highly unprofessional reporter from ABC decides she's going to take it upon herself to take on Donald Trump. And right now, she's probably wishing she hadn't done that. Kamala Harris is probably wishing she hadn't done that. You just saw the exchange that happened right there, and it was mind-blowing. The woman had no retort. She had nothing to come back with. She was absolutely bombshelled, shell-shocked, had no idea what to say. Ended up trying to say something, lied to the camera in front of the entire audience, who at that point laughed at her. They realized at that point, this guy came out calmly. You decided you wanted to take him on. You wanted to take a shot at the king. Meanwhile, as you learned on July 13th, if you take a shot at the king, you better hit him. Well, she took her best racial shot.
On him.
Gonna call out Donald Trump, gonna make him appear to everybody watching, I'm in control. I'm Miss Black Reporter. Watch what I do to Donald Trump. And she got the smackdown. She got the smackdown, and she put Kamala Harris in harm's way.
All over the
Donald
news,
Trump,
MSNBC, Donald Trump's racist attack. They see what they must not be getting the memo. They don't understand it. We don't want to hear your BS. Donald Trump's racist attack on Kamala Harris because they say she ain't black. She didn't. She said she wasn't black. She's an Indian lady, and black people reject the notion you can be black whenever you want. That they don't understand. We find that disgusting, especially Big Mama and them. They find that very disgusting. They don't like that type of colorism is big in our community now. They don't like somebody like Kamala thinking she's too good to be them till it's time to eat off their plate. Pretend like she a sister girl. Where'd you get that from? How'd you learn? Did you learn that on TV? Because your damn show didn't learn nothing about the culture from your mom.
Trump calmly, eloquently tried to tell her, I don't think you want to go here, honey. I think you just want to be respectful, right? You don't want to do this, do you? Yeah, you want to do this, so you get to play with the big boys at this point. And it was amazing. In case you didn't see all that, I want to play it back for you and give you my blow by blow on this one. All right, so.
I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black. And now
when he say she was only promoting Indian heritage, you think that, man, they don't got the videos lined up like the ones we just played of her only promoting Indian heritage? You think he was dumb enough to come on now and say that without the proof? As soon as he left, like I say, he had a rally, he had the proof all on the Megatron. All newspaper articles championing her as the first Indian senator. Indian. Come on now. He knew what he was saying. They fell for it.
she wants to be known as black.
Now
So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She happened to turn black. Oh my God. And you could hear the people in the audience laughing along because they know. The only people who don't know this are people who play along with Kamala's games, her entire charade, the media. That's who we're talking about. And these people in the media are like, oh my God, she just went there. She just gave this guy a door opening. Listen to what she says in return.
She is always identified as a black woman.
She's always identified as a black woman. Maybe little Shirley here doesn't know what's about to happen.
No, and she set herself up. She has always identified good. I know they spamming you on Twitter. I know they spamming you with all them videos showing her identifying as an Indian woman. She has always, that was a big lie from her sorority sister. But she gonna pay for that because this is 2024. All your lies instantly exposed.
Maybe she doesn't know that at that moment, millions, or at least thousands of Trump supporters are diligently finding all the information they possibly can that they've been holding for months, waiting for the moment. They're like, hey, you just got caught. You stepped in that bear trap. Boom. She identified as black all along. You sure about that? You sure you want to say that? Do you realize that this man just calmly, as he says with his hands, just set you up, set up Kamala, and there is no retort. You cannot refute it.
Go and they took the bait.
There are articles after articles that I guess they didn't have time to go ahead and scrub, but all of us had downloaded this stuff. We were waiting, like, how is this going to come up? Is it going to come up at the debate, or is it going to come up now? Because we've all known this. I've had the copies of these things. And I'm like, when is it? Give us a signal, boss. Tell us when it's time to launch the attack. Well, he pretty much just did.
Either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask.
And so what she was trying to do is, let's change the subject real quick. Backstroke. Let me get out of this. I don't know what I just did. Oh my God, Kamala, please don't hurt me. I know what I just did. I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and I got no way to get out of this. No way. You baited this guy. You could have been respectful and just said, hello, Mr. President.
Man,
you even just called
him. Talking about him, about what is he finna do for black people. They wasted it to say, you've been attacking blacks and all that type of shit. And then bam, he hit him with the nuclear missile, and they don't know how to respond. So they just respond as, oh, that was a racist attack. Bullshit. And that is you not getting no votes with that nonsense. Did she identify as an Indian lady or not? Goddamn right she did.
Called him Trump, Mr. Trump. You didn't even address the man correctly. You kept him waiting for 35, 40 minutes. You didn't come out in front of people and say, sorry, President Trump. You know, it is our fault. We should have had this sound, everything worked out. No, you decided you had your little notes and you're a little Miss Black reporter. And you're like, I'm going to slap this one.
There was nothing wrong with the equipment. That Trump understand that was a power play. They wanted to muscle him by making him sit 30 to 45 minutes. That's what they did. They did that on purpose.
White man down in front of all of these people and embarrass him. How'd that work out for you right about now? I bet y'all scrambling. It's all over television. It's all over the internet. Of course, Joy Reid and her crew are going to try and turn it around like Trump was being racist. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. This man does his due diligence. He understands what's out there. He knows what she has said. He knows more than that reporter probably knew. Maybe she was too young.Maybe she didn't remember. Maybe she's just stupid. In any event, she opened the door, and here's what we all found out.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
I cut that so it looped 3 times, but you get the point. You're Indian, right?
Yeah. How many black people can do that? How many black people they can look at you and say, you're Indian, right? And we're talking about, if you talk about indigenous, but if you're talking about from over there in the land that they identify as India, that's in Asia, hell no, I'm not. But she can. She get the pass. Yes, she smile like a motherfucker. Not thinking about no black. She far from anything black. Please, her mama that lady didn't grow up on no soul food, never in her life tasted soul food, man, till she went to college.
Right? Yes. Yes. You're an Indian, right? Yes. Yes. You're an Indian, right? Yes.
Oh, those ads coming. Trump gonna play.
She had the opportunity to go, no, I'm half black and I'm half Jamaican and I'm half Indian or 3/4 Indian and 1/4 Jamaican. She could have come up with something, but she gladly, yes.
See.
Okay, so
that's racist right there. See, that's the one drop rule. You can play black if you want. If you got to drop in you, that's a racist European stereotype. All right, she got some black. Throw over there with the blacks. Oh fuck no! What, y'all bigots? Y'all still trying that type of shit?
How do you at this point say that Kamala Harris is black? Oh, I know. You're going to go back to that old thing we've heard, that old wives' tale. If you got one drop of black blood, you're black. You know, if you put a drop of black into white, you know, like put some chocolate into the milk, all of a sudden it becomes chocolate.
I didn't even know he was going to say that.
That's how people have explained this for years.
Come on now.
One drop of black blood, you're black. See what happens? I actually had somebody do that. One of my relatives, long time ago. Come here. See if we put this Hershey's here. We put this drop of chocolate into this white glass of milk. What happens? It turns a different shade of black. You may be brown, you may be light skinned, but you can see the black takes over the white milk. I swear. And I know I'm not the only other person who went through that because I'm a light-skinned black. They were like, hey, listen, I seen black kids at school. They don't look like me. I'm kind of like, tanned. What am I? Oh, you're black. Really? How are you black? Well, because you have one drop of black blood. That's it. That's the definition. That is the ratio. No matter how many parts white, no matter how many parts anything else, you got one drop of black blood, you are black. And so Kamala Harris has been passing herself off as black this entire time as she's needed to court the black votes. Everybody looks away. You do understand she's got a white husband, right? Oh, yeah, we're not going to look at that. We're not going to look at who she's married to. That doesn't really matter.
Kamala Hoffman.
All right, so let's
Kamala
look further.
Hoffman. Why she ain't running around here with her last Hoffman? You don't want to use the Indian name, cool. Why you not using your married name? You are Kamala Hoffman. Because then the blacks won't support her like that. See, this is disgusting.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I
They do now.
go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually
Just keep saying it. Yes.
Indians are
yes,
so
we're both
excited
Indian. Yes.
to have
we're both South
first
Indian.
Indian.
Yes.
You look like
We're South Indian. South Indian, wherever that is.
the entire one half.
You look like the entire half of my other side of the family. See anything kind of weird here? Kamala's on the left side, and I'm pretty sure if you look closely at Kamala, I don't want to offend anybody, but she's got the red insignia on her forehead. Never known, never in my life, never have known a black person to have that red insignia on their forehead.
Why she don't wear her?
I've been black quite a while.
Her cultural dot.
I've been black a long time. Never have I ever known anybody black to have that red insignia on their forehead. And with all due respect, I wish I knew the name of what that was, but all I do know is nobody I know black has ever had one of those. Did people not see this picture of her family before? Oh, okay. Let's continue.
Of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people
You
we're
do.
related already, so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food.
Certainly, you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Knock wood, I could become the first Indian senator. Right then and there, the guy standing in front of her with a microphone, she could have said, no, you got me wrong. I'm not Indian. I'm black. I'm black. This is I believe it's called the Sacramento Bee, not to be confused with the Babylon Bee, where they basically heralded her on January 3rd, 2017, and said Kamala Harris will be sworn in as the first Indian American senator.
Trump had this one of the articles Trump had on this billboard at his rally last night. At the rally last night, saying, "Man, this lady switched from Indian American to black when it suits her." But then people try to act like she don't remember when she was getting all the accolades for being the first Indian American, black nowhere, just Indian. Not come on, man. These people are sick.
Did they not know in 2017 that she was black? Did they misappropriate her? Oh my God!
What black woman can do that? What black woman can get a job or a career, and they be saying, "How you feeling as the first Indian?" And I talk about indigenous, but mean from Asia, and then they be like, "Oh, I feel good. I'm just so great." And then that don't happen for them. Things don't work. You know, they don't rise fast enough. People really not. It ain't really time for an Indian person. Okay, how about? Well, I can switch to black now. You know, my father has a piece way down the line somewhere. I think it's some black somewhere in him, but no, he's really Irish and Indian, but we're gonna just say that it's some black in him somewhere. We can use that, right? All right, we'll run with that.
Must be going crazy. In 2017, they misidentified Kamala Harris. Unbelievable. Let's see who else might have done that. Anybody else would do that? Oh, this is Business Insider. Kamala Harris becomes the first Indian American senator. Interesting. Very, very interesting how that happens, right? Very interesting. This is probably the most interesting thing. Don't know if you guys can see it, but on the right-hand side of her birth certificate, hers, this is her birth certificate. On the right-hand side, as you know, those of you who have been born, you get a birth certificate. It says your mother and your father. I take your attention to box number 7, where it says color of race of mother. Caucasian. That means white. And then I'm going to take you to box number, it looks like 15, color or race of father. It says Jamaican. Jamaican. Doesn't say black. This woman has perpetrated a fraud on all of her supporters, and Donald Trump, in just unbelievable fashion, blew it up today, calmly, securely, without profanity, without being mean, and just said, hey, you might want to look into this, because obviously little Shirley here, you don't know. You may want to go check this out. And it caused people to go scrambling everywhere. Well, her father was Jamaican. Well, do you realize if you've never been to Jamaica, there are people who were from India and lived in Jamaica? Do you know that her descendants owned slaves? Oh, shudder to think. Kamala Harris, the black woman, her family came from slaves? No, they didn't come from slaves. She bought slaves. Not her, but her family. What are they going to do about this? There is no refuting this. There is nothing she can say to retort this. She identified as an Indian until it became not advantageous to be Indian. She's a fraud. Everybody knows she's a fraud. And now his first shot at her at a black convention, he let everybody know, oh, by the way, you know she's a fraud? And he just did it so smoothly. And he probably wouldn't have done it, except they came after him with guns blaring and saying that they were going to try and take him on and embarrass him in front of everybody and call him a racist. I bet you if she had approached him in a good demeanor and gave him the respect as a former president and possibly future president, better be future president, if he had just been respectful and professional, he might not have dropped it right there. But what a perfect place to drop it. He dropped it at a black journalist convention. And now it's everywhere on Twitter. Just fantastic. I've never seen, the guy's a maestro. He's known this for a long time. He obviously had all the information that we've had. And he's like, when should I drop this? Okay, you're going to take a shot at me here in front of all these people, 500, 600 people, whatever they are. Made me sit around for 30 minutes. I'm going to embarrass you right now. I'm going to embarrass your candidate that you love to the point where you're going to stammer and you're going to just pretend as though she's always been black, which is what that woman said. And then here you go. Deal with that and deal with it for the next week. Now, of course, we know the mainstream media will come running to Kamala's defense. They have to. They have no choice but to run to her defense. They will call him a racist. They will call him a misogynist. They will call him every name in the book. But see, he knows those people in the media weren't his target. They weren't meant to get that message. Who is meant to get that message? The black people who still weren't decided on Kamala. Remember, he doesn't have to win the black vote. He just has to get enough of the black vote to make a difference. And I believe today, Donald Trump fired the first, I shouldn't say the word shot, and it went across the bow. It hit the boat. It put a hole in Kamala Harris's boat. And the only way she can fix it is to have the media talk about it. She, person to person, is never going to speak to it. She's going to say he's a racist. Kamala, just answer it. Why in 2017 and 2018 were you identifying at that time as an Indian? When did you decide that you were going to become black? Easy for a reporter to ask. We've got all the information. We've got the birth certificate. We've got all this stuff. It's even sanitized, so don't you guys worry about trying to do anything. I sanitize it, and there's no personal information on there. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk to us. Let us know how you're going to make it all better so people don't think you're a complete fool. Personally, I don't think she can.
How many of you know a black man who has expressed to you that they're committed to voting for Donald Trump? Okay.
I could have swore I just saw a clip with Angela Rao on MSNBC, same network. She sat there with Charlamagne the God, talking to Jake Tapper, and she said it was all, what was the word? A nothing burger.
Angela, what do you make of Donald Trump saying that he is building support among black voters?
I don't. I make the same thing out of it that exists. It's absolutely nothing. It's a nothing burger.
She said it was a nothing burger, that there weren't people voting for Donald Trump. Black men. That it wasn't the thing. She spoke as if she'd met a whole lot of black men and spent a lot of time with them, and that they felt comfortable expressing their political thoughts with her.
Angela, Vice President Harris's advisors say that her campaign is going to lean heavily into the choice between her as a prosecutor and Donald Trump as a convicted felon. Do you think that's wise? Is that what voters want, a prosecutor?
I think there's never been a time where voters would want a prosecutor more. You have someone who has a proven track record, again, as a prosecutor, as a state's attorney, as an attorney general, rather, and she has demonstrated that she knows how to prosecute cases against the most corrupt among us.
Because that was pretty clear. That's what she said. And obviously, Charlamagne didn't say anything. He just sat there like he was on Prozac or something, I don't know, something. And she said it, and Jake didn't question it. And it's like, okay, so this guy, this MSNBC contributor, he asked the question, and the black men, they raised their hands.
How many of you know a black man who has expressed to you that they're committed to voting for Donald Trump? Okay. For the brothers who have told you that or said that to you, has the emergence of Kamala Harris changed that for those brothers?
No.
How many of you...
Hey, look, guys, hold on.
No.
None of them. None of the men, none of the brothers there, none of the men that were asked the question who said they know of brothers who are supporting Donald Trump. They didn't say, did you know a brother? He said, do you know of other black men? Men is plural. Do you know of other black men that are supporting Donald Trump? And now that Kamala is running, have they changed their tune? And they all said no. And I know that's anecdotal, that's isolated, right? That ain't everybody. That ain't everybody, obviously. You ain't got enough microphones to go question everybody, right? But I do find it kind of interesting because, yeah, I don't think they were lying. I don't think they're bots. I don't think they're hired. I think MSNBC would try to do their best not to get people that are actually working for the Trump campaign. I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? But they don't call it the MSDNC for nothing. This is MSDNC. This ain't Fox News. This is MSDNC. They love the DNC. They know where their butter or their bread is butter. They know where they get crabs from. They know what kind of season they're gonna be on the crabs. They know the place to go get the creamy shakes, right? This is the shake spot for the DNC. The DNC has their shakes. That's where they go to get their shake. That's their Shake Shack. That's their spot. That's where they go. That's their Panera Bread, all right? And you hear the sentiment. It was no flinching. It was bam. So, like, that's anecdotal. But then there's other stuff I've seen online from other people. And I want to warn you before I play this that some of the language that you're going to hear is going to be a little bit rough.
Hey, yo, Democrats, let me tell you something real quick. We ain't fucking with Kamala, bro. Nah. We don't like no part, so we ain't like her when she became the vice president. You know damn well we ain't trying to have her dead. Because this bitch still talking about electric school buses and shit. So we ain't like her when she became the vice president. You know damn well we ain't trying to have her dead. Because this bitch still talking about electric school buses and shit.
Yeah, see, I told you the language is going to be a little colorful here because, I don't know, I get the impression that not everybody is on the Kamala bandwagon. Some people are forming their own opinions. It doesn't mean they're Trump supporters. It doesn't mean Trump supporters. It doesn't mean they're RFK supporters. And it doesn't mean they're Cornel West supporters or Jill Stein supporters. It's just not Kamala Harris supporters. That's still legal. You can still not like somebody, even if they happen to be light brown skin or people say they're American, Black American, or whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still not like somebody. You can still not rock with their politics because we don't personally know anybody. But this sister's pretty adamant, man. Let's let her keep going, man. Just a little bit longer. You know, I'm gonna try to limit the language, but let's go.
When asked, what can you do for the black community? She said nothing. But yet again, their administration did something for the Asians, the Native Americans, the transgenders, and but it couldn't do nothing for the blacks. You know what I'm saying? Now, your chocolate ass, I just don't feel like you responded right with the massive stuff. I don't. Because as a black woman, you should have been mad as hell. As a black woman, you should have been hot, Kamala. But you wasn't. You were still crispy cool. Now, I don't know no black women that were crispy cool like that, but that ain't none of my business. But it is, though, because I just want everybody to know we ain't fucking with you. We is not fucking with you, Kamala. You is not it. You don't even look. You don't even look the part. You don't even look like you can come in there and black woman some shit. You don't. You don't. You don't. I don't remember not one time you even stood up for us, Kamala.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, see, that's one of the things that people overlook that I've noticed. A lot of my Kamala supporters, they never point out the instances over the last 4 years or so where Kamala had an opportunity to stand up for black folks, and she took it. I mean, working class black folks. I don't mean like George Floyd tweets. I don't mean that. I mean, the myriad of issues, the stuff that really hits home, like the home foreclosures. I told y'all we only get like 2% of SBA loans. They brag about these SBA loans. We don't get them. I'm a wager you right now. The new immigrants that have come here in the last 6 months, 9 months, a year, they're going to get more of a percentage of SBA loans than black Americans. And even if I'm wrong, I won't be wrong by a lot because we only get 2%. Frankly, I don't want to get pissed off, but there are people who think Kamala's a good choice. And they don't care that she was a part of an administration where we got 2% of small business loans. They want to know about Gaza, though, but they don't want to know about MLK Avenue. They don't care about that. But see, that gets me. That's when I get mad. That's when I get ticked off, man. You know, so I don't want to get ticked off. She mad enough for me. I'm going to leave her right there. If you don't care about black people having businesses and being able to, you know, be productive in this society, it's kind of hard to live in a capitalistic environment and be broke, but I get it. Black people, 40% of the homeless population, we make up like 13% of the population. I know that's a big issue to me, not so much to you. If you want to know what we're doing with that Ukraine money, I do too, but meanwhile, 50% of families that are homeless are black. Just letting you know. And we are nowhere near half the population in America. So there's a lot of reasons why when I hear the stats that the Kamala bots are running off, that they're reciting off about all the great things, they're not talking about the stuff I'm talking about. I feel like I'm 50 Cent right now, but they're not talking about the things I'm talking about, man. And I never ever heard a brother tell me nothing that I need to hear now one time, man. This Kamala Harris thing is really starting to get to me, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't putting no foot in the fire. You ain't did shit in the whole time. You been in politics. You was right here putting our brothers away and, you know what I'm saying, not allowing evidence to show to get them out of jail. You know, that was you. That was you, Kamala. You did that. So I hope them Democrats don't think it's going to have the Obama effect where we was voting by color. Because I promise you, I'm waiting on Mr. Orange Man to bring his ass back.
Well, I guess I was wrong. She may be Trump supporter because she said I'm waiting on the Orange Man. But okay. She may be a Trump supporter, but there it is. That's exciting right there. The fact that I got a black woman that's a Trump supporter and that she's actually getting play, like, and she's not a content like creator, because it's money, it's a bag attached to that. It's a bag online, it's a bag attached to it. All right, so I don't know. I'm not saying they're doing it just for the bag, but it's hard to turn down millions of dollars. I mean, I haven't been faced with these predicaments. I'm too dumb. I keep saying I don't rock with either one of these people. But anyway, so that was good. So this is why I say, back to the title, the question is the Kamala Harris mania a real thing? Is it taking over the country? But is it really? That's the question. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. And while I was looking for more signs, corporate media has pulled a fast one on us. Noam Chomsky, linguist, notable thinker, philosopher. He had a book called Manufacturing Consent.
What do you say to people who think they're well informed by watching Nightline, This Week with David Brinkley, and reading Time and Newsweek?
Well, they are well informed in the doctrines of the propaganda system. No, you know, it's not that you can't learn anything from it. If you look at it with a sufficiently skeptical and critical eye, you can pick things out. You can compare today's lies with tomorrow's concessions, you know.
And it talks about how they get you to agree with their plans by running all types of social engineering schemes on the American people in order to influence you to do what they want you to do, and making it appear like it was your choice to do it by setting up a certain set of circumstances that push you in that direction without you even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just find yourself funneled into this direction and you were like, okay, this is what we need to do. They're like, yeah, I knew you. Smart man, I'm glad you chose that. We had nothing to do with it at all. So when I was looking, I found this guy. And this brother, he had some thoughts too.
I'm watching Kamala Harris election campaign thing, and I just feel like, let me just say this to everybody out there who voted for Kamala Harris. I think y'all stupid as the motherfucker.
Okay, see, I'm trying to keep the language, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't trying to, I would like to monetize the video if possible. But, I guess if I can, I can. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Rug came out the gate with the guns loaded. What can I say? I was going to try to catch it and stop it, but it is what it is. I hope he didn't get too more graphic. You know what I'm saying? He got one MF off. Let's see if he keeps the thing.
Stupid as a mother.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, man, I'm beginning to believe that not only some people not feeling Kamala, but some people are just really ticked off about it, really don't support it. Really, Hillary Clinton level of non-support. You know what I'm saying? In the area of, you know what I'm saying? In the area of really not rolling with him at all. I'm getting John McCain is running vibes. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's let him keep going. Now, he got one more. I'm gonna give him one more, okay? Come on, bruh. Keep it PG-13. Let's try this.
Fuck him.
Damn. Some people, they wear their emotions on their sleeve, you know what I'm saying? And I get it, man. I appreciate his honesty, man. That's how that brother feels.
Hey, what's up, you all? Welcome back. I'm Bam. We are all the LFR family. Much love to you all. Thank you.
Revolutionary salute to our brother Vincent Brown for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is a way of life. I appreciate the love family, and our brother Ricardo for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is a way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love family. Salute.
Thank you so much for clicking play. Hopefully you click the like button as well. And when you see that subscribe button below the video, go ahead and look at it. It's a red button. Hit that thing. All right. Have y'all seen this joint right here? I'm going to play something for you. We're going to talk about it. This came from the National Association of Black Journalists who interviewed Trump. They did not want to interview Trump. And you're going to see exactly why they didn't want to interview Trump from this young man's video that I have that's about to play here shortly. Y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments, man. They are doing this dude dirty, bro. They doing him dirty.
Before I start this interview, I'm going to ask y'all to, forgive my language in advance. Because
Roscoe, hold on, y'all. Revolutionary salute to my brother Roscoe for the $10 donation to the war chest. Say salute, King. I'm getting married Saturday. Congratulations, brother. August the 3rd. I'll be on my honeymoon next week. Enjoy your honeymoon, brother. I will still be tuning in to this Revolutionary News Network. Revolution is a way of life, brother. Congratulations on your wedding. Salute to your wife. Enjoy yourself. We're gonna, I'm gonna keep you informed. You can kick back. You're going to stay on all the geopolitical information that you need, brother, right here. Revolutionary salute. I appreciate the love, family.
Say some stuff on here that I don't use to sell my videos. So those of y'all who have sensitive ears, keep swiping. Let this be one of my videos that you swipe on by because, listen, playtime is over and the gloves are off. Now, listen, first I want to say thank you to my Chi-Town sister who, let me know that Trump was going to be in Chicago doing the interview. Now, let me say this. This was the most disrespectful interview I think I've ever seen. First of all, Trump knew when he went to this interview that he was going in the lion's den. Kudos, Trump, to you going to this, because this was some straight up bullshit. This girl was so disrespectful, it's ridiculous. The whole fucking panel was disrespectful, but it was so disrespectful, it was ridiculous. First of all, Kamala Harris didn't even show up. Kamala Harris didn't even show up because she don't feel like she needs to show up because she already knows she got the black vote lying up in Chicago. And she don't have no respect for the black people. And let's not forget, she chicken shit. She complete chicken shit because she been saying she wanted to debate Trump. And this would have been the best time for her to be on stage with Trump and say whatever she wanted to say to him. But of course, she didn't even show up. The doggone interviewers, they were 35 minutes late because they had no respect for Trump either. But Trump, kudos to you for going into this bull crap. Now, this interview didn't even start the interview off by saying hello, President Trump, or hello, former President Trump, or hello, Trump. She didn't even speak to him. She just went straight into the text. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't like Kamala Harris at all. Period. Y'all know I don't like Kamala Harris, but she is the VP of the United States of America. And then if I had a conversation with her, if I had an interview with her, the first thing I would do before I even started any question would say, hello, VP Harris, how you doing? That's the least respect you can give to anybody. But these disrespectful tricks, they have any respect for Trump. All they did was come out with attack from the beginning. From the fucking beginning, that's all they came out with. Now, this dumbass trick gonna have the nerve to say to Trump, you know, tell me why should black people support you? You know, with your rhetoric and all this and all that, and why should black people support you? You lied about Obama, you lied about Nikki Haley, and that, let me tell y'all something. That's what a lot of the black community mad at Trump about, because Trump questioned Obama citizenship in the United States of America, and you know you cannot question King Obama because black folks will have.
But like I said in my video earlier, Hillary did it first. Trump got it from Hillary. When Hillary Clinton and Obama ran for election in 2008, it was Hillary. Anybody can Google that and find it. It was Hillary who brought up birtherism. Hillary and her camp, races behind, brought that up. It's when Trump, before he started running, he started playing with it and throwing jabs at Obama. But he got it from Hillary, and none of them, the Congressional Black Caucus, nobody said one word. They all shut up. All of the Greek freaks never got on Hillary's ass for questioning Obama's birth. Where was he born at? They know who to beef with and who not to.
A fit. That's what a lot of them upset with Trump about. Because you can't question their God. And a lot of black people, their God is Obama. Y'all get mad at me all y'all want. It is what it is. I said what I said, and I meant what the fuck I said. Yep, I said it. But let me tell y'all this right here. So she comes at Trump with all this old bull crap. So of course Trump said, well, you know, I've done a lot of stuff for the black community. You know, he said the same thing he always said. You know, I've done more for the black community than anybody except for Abraham Lincoln. Then this dumb, supposed to be educated ass trick had the audacity to say, well, her brainwashed, brain dead, simple-minded ass. So you telling me you've done more for the black community than Lyndon B. Johnson, who passed the Voting Rights Act? This has got to be the dumbest bitch I ever heard in my life, and I've heard a lot of them. But she's supposed to be so educated. First of all, let me tell y'all something, because I'm tired of blacks acting like Democrats, and Lyndon B. Johnson did so much for the goddamn black community. Lyndon B. Johnson didn't have a fucking choice but to sign off on the Voting Rights Act because Republicans passed it. He was the president of the United States of America, and he didn't have a choice but to sign off on it. It's not like Lyndon B. Johnson and the Democrat Party did a goddamn thing for blacks out of the kindness of their heart. They did it because they didn't have a choice because Republicans passed it. And I'm so sick of these goddamn dumb.
But see, that's a point, but that's not the major point about the Voters' Rights Act. That's not, people don't get it. That's not for black people. That's for everybody. White women, Asian people, Mexicans, whatever. It's for everybody. That's what Democrats, voters' right. Told you, fair housing, all that nonsense. That's for everybody. That's not nothing for no goddamn black people. They keep bringing it up to hustle you and scam you your whole life.
Some ass black folks acting like Democrats loved us. They ain't never cared nothing about us, and they still don't. But y'all keep falling for this goddamn trap they keep putting out there, thinking they care so much about you. And yep, I said what I said, and I meant what I said. But then, you know, shit goes on to ask, you know, so you call, you know, Republicans and y'all said Kamala Harris is a DEI hire. Do you think she's a DEI hire? Fuck yeah, she's a DEI hire. She's a DEI hire. She was hired because she was a woman and because she was a woman of color. And she started calling herself black. Then this interviewer gonna tell me something. Well, she always called herself black. You telling a fucking lie because Kamala Harris called herself whatever she need to call herself to get whatever votes she need to get. I'm waiting on her to say that she's a trans woman because now she's trying to get votes from the trans community. Kamala Harris has been an energy woman when she was running up there in fucking California. She became a black woman when she was running for VP and she needed the black vote. And like I said, I'm waiting on her to say she's a trans woman because now she's trying to get votes from the trans community. So don't sit up here and act like Kamala Harris don't switch with the wind because she kept. It was the worst interview ever. And Trump, I give kudos to you for even going into this bullshit because I wouldn't have went nowhere near it. I wouldn't have went nowhere near it, period. But let me tell y'all something. If y'all sitting up here thinking just because the person is black or just because the person is a woman, that they got to jump in line with the Democratic Party or they got to vote for Kamala Harris, kiss the crack of my ass because I am a black woman and I'm not voting for either. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris and I'm not voting for the Democratic Party, and it is what the fuck it is.
It's the revolution, man. We're not going. We mean business.
So, now I heard some of it. I didn't realize that she was going to go like that.
Yeah, man. Thank that.
Like she pulled out
social media,
all of the weapons. She had all of the blades.
Media, man.
Ignited at the same time. But she was telling the truth, though. Kamala did not call herself a black woman at first. She didn't. She didn't. She just did not. Hold on. I don't know if y'all ever seen this right here, but I got to show this to y'all because it's important that they claim they want to do fact checks and whatnot. But when Trump was on the stage,
Indian woman got all the perks from being an Indian woman. That black, and then this whole black thing is something she could give a shit that she's married to a Jewish guy. She lives as a Jewish white lady. That's just true. Her whole life she lives as a Jewish white lady, man. She cosplayed black like Drake. Her and Drake got similar characteristics. Cosplay when it's time to fuck over us. But her husband, she went from culture in Indian culture, all the Indian dishes. Now, what the dishes she eat? Jewish dishes, bro. Jewish dishes. Never did she ever get to sit here and deal with black cuisine and things of that nature. It's just disgusting. But all that's coming to the light. She got to stand on that now.
NABJ, and he says Kamala didn't claim to be black. She just claimed to be Indian. The lady said, but she went to an HBCU. Okay, white people go to HBCUs. Asian people go to HBCUs. Hispanic people go to HBCUs. Indian people.
That's worse, bro.
Everybody go to HBCUs.
That's worse, bro. That's worse that she did that, bro. That's worse. You wasted a spot. A black person, an actual black person could have been getting that spot at her store. That go to show you the Greek freaks out of control. That go to show you she was a project they built up. That going to that historical black college was all part of what she had right now. This has been a scam the whole fucking time, man. She's an Indian scammer. Come on, man. If she wasn't doing it, she'd be online right now. It's trying to steal your information in a room somewhere in India.
Use is just the freaking. It's not like, and that's a requirement in order to go to the school that you have to be black. So I don't even know why she would say something foolish like that. But check this joint out right here. This was actually in the NABJ conversation when they was questioning him. And this
lady had a dot on her head. Now that I think about it, this lady just hurry up and bite. Now that I see her, I wonder why when I see her, I just hear hurry up and bite. Because that's what I get from her. Hurry up and vote. Hurry up and vote with that Indian dot on her head. You hurry up and vote.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all probably already seen this. I'm gonna shut up.
So I don't know. Is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
Okay, so what we're gonna cook today, is an Indian recipe.
Yes,
because
yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
So we're both Indian.
Yes.
But actually, we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
So I don't know. Is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black
She can play black whatever she
I
wants
don't know
to.
if she's Indian or
This was a
or
mistake,
she's
man.
black.
This
He
was a mistake.
He was on point.
It's the wrong time in history. We're not going for that shit no more. It was a time we would let this shit go out here, fucking support us. It's some black in us somewhere. Fuck with we tired of that bullshit. Obama wore out that type of taste in our mouth. We ain't going for that no motherfucking more. And this is it. No more women like, oh man, we better stick this black woman by that's a lie. That ain't a black woman, bro.
We'll point that out.
We mean business.
I don't see no issue with him pointing that out. All right. Like I said before, if this bad boy goes viral, please make sure y'all share this right here because everyone need to see this. Everyone need to see this. All right. I got this last joint that I'm pulling up for y'all because this gentleman explains it perfectly, very quickly. He explains it very well as to why they held him up for 35 minutes in the back. They did not want this interview to happen. They didn't want this interview to happen.
I just told
we
you.
already
It was
know
a
if
power
you
play. They wanted to piss him off. They thought he was going to be arrogant enough to either leave or when it started and they threw out some testy questions that he would just like cut the interview off. But they don't understand who they dealing with. And he was not going to do that. He just was going to crush him. But the holding him up was absolutely a power play to get him riled up and upset.
You watched the interview. I actually watched it twice. And then I did a live stream with you all where we was going through certain parts of it. If you haven't seen that live stream, please go see it. That's our very last live stream. But it got heated from the very beginning, from the tip top. But they did not bring him from our back for 35 minutes. Listen to why this happened. This is exactly why it happened. Like when I listen to this makes all the sense in the world as to why it happened. Check this out.
It's very simple. The National Association of Black Journalists, the reason why they were 35 minutes late is because they thought Trump would just use that as a reason to leave. He's not scared of you.
They did not want to rescind their invitation. They did not want to rescind their invitation because then that would have made them look weak. So they just left him in the back. They just left him in the bag, kept on acting like, okay, we got microphone problems. Well, Harris Faulkner said our people were there. We would have helped them out. Harris Faulkner was interviewed by a few people from Fox News, and she was like, we told them that if they having any issues or whatever, we'll figure that out. We'll help them take care of it. But this gentleman just put it perfectly. The reason why they kept him in the back and they wouldn't bring him out is because, first of all, they was afraid of him. They didn't want him to come to the National Black Journalists Association anyway. They didn't want him to come.
See, these
because they were already judged.
This man was sat down with Kim Jong-un and talked business. Who the hell are they? So this man sat down with Kim Jong-un, went across the line and shook and hugged. Who the fuck do they think they are? That's just so crazy. See, the people just they feel they're so into themselves. Yeah, but now they've been exposed. The emperor has no clothes, man.
Judge them. They've already chosen a side. The last I've checked, journalists supposed to be objective, right? They supposed to be integral. They supposed to operate with certain guidelines and structure, right? Well, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. I got one more. Hold on. We're not done. We are not done. I told y'all I'm not playing today, man. This is going to be a really
to have all women panel. That's crazy. Like, come on, y'all said black journalists. You could have one black man up there. You could have 2 black women, 1 black man. No black men nowhere. Come on, man. Come on, it just was so disrespectful. It was a setup from the beginning. Like, okay, if you're gonna have to talk to black women, angry black women, because they wanted to project him as a racist bigot who disrespecting black women, man. And he wasn't going for it. He was very respectful, but he was hostile and let them know he come for business. That he loved black people. He put on the table what we did. And what's so crazy is they the Greek freaks. They the sorority sisters. And he the one they don't want to hear the policies. They didn't want to hear no policies. He let them know, man, y'all historical black colleges, y'all was begging for money every year till I said, huh? No, he go a 10-year wow. Is that enough? Obama to make him steady come back. Bill Clinton, no, you got to come back and see me. You got to come back and beg for more. Trump put an end to that and gave historical black colleges a big whop. You heard some people clapping, but they're like, God damn, don't be talking about them facts. They don't want to hear the facts of what he's done for black people. Oh, you hate black people. Well, let's hear what he did. You heard about the First Step Act? Joe Biden locked them up. Kamala locked them up. Trump released some brothers who not any old criminals, people who done their time, but they didn't want to talk about that because they didn't want that interview to happen. But he was calm enough to get his policies out and deal with their bullshit. Because he's better than cool a lot of black men. A lot of black men wouldn't have that bullshit from them women up there, man. That's way too disrespectful. I would have said some cuss words my goddamn self.
Really good one, really quick one. But I need for y'all to see this. Now, remember, Kamala Harris just now did a rally in Atlanta. And we saw Meg the Stallion, the same woman.
We're going to get into that too. Then, you see, this is what's so disgusting to go to show you, man. No regular people, they're trying to pack the crowds. They're going to try to pull off the church and the sorority sister BS. She came to Houston. All the sorority people came. See, they going to be her background to make it look like this is what America look like. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But this the kicker. Those same people just for the vote for Biden. Now they acting like, woo, she got some enthusiasm. Those same people don't fall for that. Pick a card, in the card. Them ain't no new Kamala Harris voters. It's just, but they go to show you we can't trust all of our goddamn sisters. That's just that. So some of the brothers, we just can't trust you. We just can't trust. They don't care what we saying about our kids. We saying, please, we don't want our kids to transition. They're like, oh, fuck that. Trump's a racist. Did you just hear what I said about what the policies of the Democrats? They don't care. And it hurts to see because it's family members. There's a civil war going on right now. But we got to hold the line. You see, we see who willing to sell out our children's future for their petty goddamn bullshit-ass politics. They never gave a damn. Little did we know. All these people talk about they going to college. What the hell did they got trained to come back and run our communities, go on TV, talk like puppets? You see, what happened is social media, y'all start paying attention to and found out you knew more than them. They can't beat y'all no debate. They especially can't fuck with me. But they got trained at school to say what these people want them to say. And they come run our communities. That's over with. These people never was going to clean nothing up. Cloud chasing, avalanche chasers, all of them. Black Lives Matter. People you knew they don't give a damn about no black lives. Where they from? Why all these people got uncles that's dying, sisters dying, grandmas dying. But why is it when one black body one black person get killed somewhere by police, then they all out there? Nigga, your uncle just got choked to death. Why you didn't say nothing?
Who came up with WAP. If you don't know what WAP means, well, you go ahead and Google WAP. I'm not going to say it. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate it. It's WAP. Go check it out when you get an opportunity. But she represents that. Now, she's a college-educated, beautiful black woman, but the type of music that I'm talking about Megan Thee Stallion, but the type of music that she promotes is not beautiful black music. It just is not. It's about shaking ass. It's about having sex. It's about getting money, taking a dude for his money and all this other stuff, being out there, loving your body. So since you love your body, you need to show as much of it as possible whenever you have an opportunity. But that Atlanta rally, did y'all know?
I'm going to show you something. Because I get mad about that. That's not our culture. But it ain't just racist them doing that. I'm going to show you why. Because you would think, I'm going to say that about sexy red too. Because what people understand, it's not just racist. I hear people saying, look at how they trying to promote our culture. Listen, brother, what y'all understand is the people behind that, the architects, the small hats, they also did that to the so-called white people. Don't forget what they done to Britney Spears. Do you think they spared them? Hell, when you find out, that's why you have a Tucker Carlson them pissed off. They understand what's at play here. That Elon Musk, he said it before on his Twitter. Somebody on his Twitter has said you had Jewish people. I'm not saying it, YouTube. Jewish people were doing things and then bringing heat down on white people. Then they get back and say they're Jewish while the whole world is mad at white people. Hey, that could be true. Is it true? But like this Megan Thee Stallion thing, this is just more to, yes, corrupt our kids. We got to look at the total play that's going on here. This ain't just because they want to ruin our culture. They want to ruin all cultures. This is true. They don't want culture nowhere. So we definitely got to guard ours. But it's bigger than just black and white when it comes to that Megan Thee Stallion play. Because what they done with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, they pimped out, had white girls prostituting and looking sleazy. Look at Britney right now. That woman all on Instagram and panties and looking crazy. And it just because what they did to her, sexually assaulted her. But guess what? Britney was a role model to white girls all over the damn world. So all of them was just as sleazy as she was. That's what the small hats did. So, but they trying to get our kids to be just as sleazy as Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion, but don't think racism here, because when you think that, they lose you. You get lost. No. It's bigger plot on that specifically.
That Kamala's campaign was actually busing the homeless and paying them to come to the rally. They were going around. Okay.
And then she arrested.
Check this video out right here.
Kamala picked up the homeless, busted them to the rallies, and then she arrested them for loitering and jaywalking. Yeah, that's how Kamala did them.
Playing with y'all this morning, man. Much love to you all. If you have not liked, if you not shared this video yet, please do so, because we're not playing no games today at all. We're not playing any games whatsoever. All right, hold on one second. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Listen to this joint right here.
Okay, just in case you did not know it, on yesterday, Kamala Harris had a rally in Atlanta, and it gave you like, oh, Atlanta's hype for her. Like, people are so excited for her. I know you felt it. I know you saw it. She even brought out ratchet Megan Thee Stallion, shaking her butt, twerking for a political rally, talking about hotties for Harris. That did not turn your stomach. Like, that is pandering, like, if you've ever heard it. But that's not the catch-up.
More. Remember when they shake your booty to the pose, shake your booty. More of that. That's racist. Now you can. That's disgusting. Shake your. I want to see them telling white people that ain't Asians too. You know what you do to us. I want to see them telling whites. I want to see some perverted, sleazy white lady out there telling them to do that type of shit. But in black community, they talk about shake your booty to the pole. And then get Juvenile coming out here talking about vax that thing up. Juvenile, we ain't forgot. You remix the song talking about, girl, you need to vax that thing up. That's disgusting. Juvenile, we cannot let you get away with going along with that play and telling the women and the girl, you need to vax that thing up. That was disgusting like a motherfucker.
Let that rally looking full for you, because Fulton County has been doing this for years. Before the rallies, they get busloads and they go pick up the homeless people. They offer them food, drink, and a little change to come to the rally, so the rallies will look full. Now, you got to realize she just dealt with the rally, and I want to say it was Pennsylvania, where it was less than 60 people.
Votes.
It was quite embarrassing for her. And so that's not going to go down in this blackity black city. Okay. It's just not going to go down. They are absolutely going to make sure that thing looks packed out. So I want you to know, that's why you only saw certain angles as well. But I want you to know people aren't for her like that. That's why they're having to pick up homeless people. That being said, I'm going to give her this. She's not the only one. It is a very Fulton County, Atlanta thing. You can see it before all of the Democratic rallies. You can see it. Now, I've never seen them pick up people and pay them to vote Democratic.
I seen my boy Trump when he was going to Fulton County to turn himself in like a big boss done daughter. The black people was in the streets. I remember that we played it here. They was in the streets. Trump, little kids, Trump rolling by, he waving. They all in the streets. Kamala ain't got no love like that. And I want to see Kamala roll through the streets of Atlanta and they stop trapping and stop killing this peace alert. And they in the streets waving at her. Like we seen them black people come out and wave at Trump. That man, MSNBC, they were so hot. They tried to say Trump paid them people. Them people was pissed. No, them people, Trump ain't paid them people. Them people naturally was in the streets. Regular black people in the streets waving and cheering after he turned himself in and he left and he detoured through a neighborhood. And they like, oh, the ghetto, nigga. He came through that bitch and they was out there celebrating for Trump, nigga. Kamala ain't, Joe Biden ain't never seen nothing like that. Nigga, they'll throw eggs with rockets car and call him Jim Crow.
But it's been said for years that they literally will go pick up homeless people on the days of the election and pay them to vote. They need the money, so they do it because what poor and desperate is what they're banking on. I haven't seen that, but I have absolutely, and I saw yesterday them picking up the homeless people to come to the rally. So do not be fooled.
We need to bust.
They'll tell you it's a lie.
We need to bust them already. I didn't find out what next city she go to because if I knew she was doing that, she came to Houston. I would have had to go on a field trip or mission, and I would have had to go put on some rag, tear my pants, and put some dirt on my shoes, and I have to go lay up under one of them streets like a homeless guy and see. I'm gonna do my diligence for y'all. I'm gonna be out there for y'all. I'm gonna find out what city she going to, and one of y'all got to go out there. If they picking up homeless people, we need to get this on camera. We need to be propositioned, handing some money, and we need to bust them live on the internet, man.
This right here, 1000% the truth.
So if y'all see a video like that, y'all don't think, oh man, coat done fell off, man. Nigga, hard times done go good. Now, man, I'm undercover, brother. Chill out, relax.
Now, shout out to that young lady, man. Here's her information. Is yep, I'm a conservative. That's that's tight. The name of her channel on TikTok is Yep, I'm a Conservative. That's what I wanted to drop on y'all today. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Much love to you all. I have a coaching class at 11:30 for all the people who are.
We got more. We got plenty more. It's just a full avalanche, you know. We're going to get into that rally too. What happened in Atlanta. Black people are very sick. I'm so glad. Black people are very disgusted at, because our grandma, and that's what's so cool. My daddy, he don't want Kamala, but he watched, you know, he a Democrat. Well, he say independent now. But he watched CNN and stuff, and he don't want to see Megan Thee Stallion twerking and all. That's sick. Our elders don't like that. That's disgusting. They try to teach us to come up out of that and don't go into that Sodom and Gomorrah perversion. You know, they had their times, but they elders now they know. And that's what the Democratic Party is presenting to elders. It was elders at that rally, bro. That's disgusting. Why y'all got them girls out there doing that? That's sick. Pimping them young women like that. Perverse, man.
You know, I met a daddy, a fine gentleman, Professor Harris. And the problem with her being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian, mixed Irish and Hindu. He doesn't.
I'm not gonna talk about that. Salute to Judge Joe Brown, man. You know, I mean, he don't get along because he been Boule-ish, but that's not what that's all about. If he renounced the Boule, he good. But he brought up Barack Obama, Barry Soto, and told us all about his rich Indonesian stepfather who was a general who was very rich, one of the richest men in Indonesia, and let us know Barack Obama is one of the most wealthiest presidents ever. And human beings is all cosplay. Barack never been broke. It's all a CIA skit. Barack's family was very wealthy because the Indonesian dictator father, Indonesian father who married his mother. See, Barack Obama, they don't want to tell about that because he absolutely was in a Muslim madras. That was true. He raised in an Islamic school, you know. So, but anyway, Judge Joe Brown brought that out. I didn't even know that part until Judge Joe Brown said that. So when he bringing this information about her father, here we go once again. I'm like, come on with it, Judge. Come on with it, because we need that information. That because they keep saying black. A lot of people said, oh, he's Jamaican. No, he's not. He's Irish and he's Indian. Indian, Irish cat. Listen, if you're born in Jamaica and you're a white man, you're Jamaican. You see how that go? See, we're trained to think black man. That's what they want you to think. Oh, my father's a Jamaican. That don't got nothing to do with his skin color, bro.
Have any black ancestors, but his Irish ancestors owned a lot of slaves in Jamaica.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Vice President Kamala Harris and now the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee and her ancestry. Is she black? Is she Indian? What's going on? Now, the reason why this is a conversation is because people, whoever they may be, the mainstream media, regular normies, they're saying that Kamala Harris has always identified as a black woman. But we have pictures, videos, evidence of all sorts that say that's not the case. At best, she is mixed black and Indian at best. At worst, she's probably about 75, 80% Indian. Now, first things first, let's get straight to some pictures, okay? You see Kamala on the far left-hand side with the red dot right on the forehead, okay? That's her. This is not a fake picture. This is her. I think that's her sister right there. Her sister, her blood sister, right? Same mom, same dad. And I'm not sure who the youngins are. And then this might be Mama, Paw. With the, you see Mama with the red dot. They have on the garment called a sari. This is typical Indian attire, and they South Indian, like Mindy Kaling, okay? We'll get to Mindy Kaling a little bit later. But you could just say, oh, she's just dressing up. It's just an event. Okay, whatever. That's fine. All right. Now, this is Kamala Harris's mother, and then on the other side, her father. Now, we already saw, we know the mom is straight from the Indian subcontinent. We already know what time it is, okay? 100% Indian. Now, her father might be a little bit of a different story. Some say that he's Irish and Indian. Some say that he's Irish and black. Regardless of what's going on, you know that he's not 100% black, okay? Let's just take a moment. Look at me, right? Look at me in my face. Nobody's going to say, hey, ABL, are you mixed? Are you some kind of black or Indian? There's no racial ambiguity here, right? Now, when you come to this man, and we're going to see a couple more pictures, you're like, okay, what's going on? I'm kind of confused.
What's going on is, hey, this is really crazy. And that's why her daddy don't fuck with her, because she blew his cover. This nigga was passing as a black man in Jamaica. He pulled the same scam she pulled in America. This man wasn't black. That's not a black man in front of you. Some people, oh, that's Jamaican. Why? Because he's born in Jamaica? That is an Irish and an Indian man. His people is from India too. That's why he cut for her mama, an Indian. You see? But in Jamaica, you see a bunch of perks and stuff. If he labeled himself a black man in Jamaica, and then he came to America to learn a bunch of different stuff, then went back to Jamaica, this colorism, to rule over real black people in Jamaica. That's serious motherfucking business. Just like she that came to America and that she want to rule over real black people in America.
What's happening here? Okay, now here are some more pictures of Kamala's people.
Oh, man.
I mean, you see what's going on.
Kemet, bro. It's going like Kemet. They pull this shit. This colorism was going on in Sudan. You had this shit throughout the Caribbean. We done had a lot of this shit in our lives. The master them start trying to put that down here in America. You know, they used to start purposely trying to have babies with slaves, so their babies can be over shit, watch over the blacks, not be like the white kids, but better than the black kids. That's real talk, man. This is real talk. This is a program, orchestrated scheme that has been implemented for thousands of years. This colorism. Now she thinks she can say she's black to rule over us. but have not come from our ways, our customs, our traditions. She can't go back to her father. He doesn't come from our ways, our customs, our traditions. He doesn't go back to any Jamaican ways, customs, or traditions. Come on, man. It's disgusting, man. Planning in these places to rule over these people.
No, I think that's a young Kamala, maybe right there on the left. I don't really know. But we see the general thing that's going on. And here is another picture of her parents, a little bit closer. The mom, obviously, clearly Indian. Now, the dad, I don't know what's going on. I mean, to me, in my opinion, I'm thinking black and white biracial.
Nope. Indian.
So, black and white biracial plus Indian, how does it get you a black woman? 25% at best, at the very best, 25% black. So, how does that make you black? And if that's what you believe and you identify as black, then why do you say sometimes that you're Indian? Just pick one or say I'm both. If you say you're both and you're biracial, that's totally fine. But when you say you're Indian on Friday and then on Monday you say you're black, I'm just kind of confused. What's going on? Now, we have videos, we got evidence, we had all kind of stuff, okay? But first, let's take a look at the clip that kind of sparked all the controversy. This is Donald Trump at the National Association of Black Journalists event in Chicago, Illinois. And by the way, he was invited, so was Kamala, but only Trump showed up. But Trump's the racist and Kamala's this strong black independent woman, all this, that, and the third. It's kind of weird, but let's watch this. Then we're going to keep on going and see something from Judge Joe Brown, in which he gives more context from his point of view. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Follow up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
Now, before he gets into his answer, Joe Biden himself said, or he responded to those who were asking him, demanding him to select a black vice president. That was the whole thing. Got to find a black vice president, black vice president. Okay, Kamala, you identify as black. You may appear to be black to some people. You'll do. Come on. Same thing with the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I'm going to appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court, and that's what he did. So when we're talking about DEI hire, affirmative action, things of this nature, when the employer says, I'm going to hire you because you're black, what do you call that? I don't really know, but let's let Trump answer the question.
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
Give me a definition.
Now, DEI is an acronym, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what it stands for. But define it. What is it in theory when you are using it in real world? In everyday practice, what does that actually mean? That's what he was asking for. All she did was just unfold the acronym, which is not the actual question.
Definition, then. Would you give me a definition of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me, if you will.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Now, let's pause for a minute. I think she said, and if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. I think she said that first, Kamala always identified as a black woman. Second, that she went to a black college. What does that mean? I don't know if you guys know or if she knows, but you don't have to be black to go to an HBCU. What does HBCU stand for? Let's unfold that acronym. Historically Black Colleges and Universities. Historically, that's all that it means. So, a little bit of lesson for you guys who are not American, or you may not know, you might be a young person. Back in the day in this country, we had legal segregation. Blacks over here, whites over here. as a black person, you could not go to white schools for the most part. So we had black schools, and these have been around for 100 years, 150 years. Like the 1800s, it started, and they're still here. So if you have 100 years of all black students, and then integration comes along, segregation is over with, do you just all of a sudden become some kind of diverse utopia? 30% black, 30% white, 30% Hispanic, 10% other? No, you're going to pretty much stay the way you've been. And the same thing goes for what we call PWIs. To unfold that, that's predominantly white institutions. You do have some colleges that are 95, 90, 100% almost white. Same thing as black. That's just the nature of this country. But you don't have to be black to go to a mostly black school or white to go to a mostly white school. Okay, but let's continue. We have more here. Now we have Judge Joe Brown laying down the hammer. This is part of a larger interview. And shout out to the Art of the Dialogue. Y'all go check them out for the full thing. But let's go ahead and roll this.
And then she was everybody's favorite Hindu Indian prosecutor and attorney general and senator, and now she becomes black. But, you know, I met her daddy, fine gentleman, Professor Harris. And the problem with her being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian, mixed Irish and Hindu. He doesn't have any black ancestors, but his Irish ancestors owned a lot of slaves in Jamaica and had them to work on plantation. So if mama is on the birth certificate listed as a Caucasian, daddy says he's a Caucasian Hindu and has no black ancestors, how did she get to be black?
That's a great question. That's a great question. If what he's saying is true, it's a great question. And even if what I thought that he's 50% black, 50% white, even if that's the case, how do you get 50% black, 50% white, 100% Indian, and result in the black woman? How does that make any sense? At best, biracial. You could say you're both. That's fine. You could say that you're multiracial. That's fine. But then again, if you pick one day and the other day, I'm kind of confused.
And by the way, she told one big lie when she was talking about she got bust because of something Biden did when she was running against him. Well, the yearbook that she put out there that you can still get online from her high school in Canada shows she went from kindergarten through 12th grade in Canada, never went to school in the United States of America. She was born, by the way, in the same hospital that my ex-wife was born in, the same 12-month period, and my late mother-in-law was in fact a pediatric nurse in that hospital when Kamala was born. And the birth certificate that she has is interesting because the confusion comes from a mistake. On the birth certificate, it lists the mother's race as Caucasian, national origin into India, and religion Hindu. For the father, it does not list national origin. It does not list religion. It does not list anything about that, but where it says race, they put national origin in Jamaica by mistake.
Now, if you don't want to take Judge Joe Brown's word for it, if you don't want to take my word for it, if you don't want to take Trump's word for it, how about let's hear from Kamala herself?
Okay, so what we're going to cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see
Right,
Indian
right.
people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people
You
we're
do.
related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true.
So you heard right there, she says, you look like the entire one half of my family. So to make it be known that I'm Indian, and again, that's fine. But when you're right here, Mindy Kaling talking about I'm Indian, and then when you go among the blacks, you go to Atlanta and say I'm black, I don't understand what's really going on. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Kamala. You're biracial, and that's totally fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, today Donald Trump had went to Chicago to the NABJ convention, and he had a pretty contentious interview with definitely certain journalists more than others. Now, Harris Faulkner, he was cool with, but it was something to see. Well, this one part that, you know, a lot of parts we can actually talk about. He's talking about Kamala Harris's identity. That has been coming up a lot. And a lot of us have said some things that Donald Trump literally going to say just out loud, but we're going to dive into her identity just a little bit, especially on the side of her father. So let's go ahead and roll what Donald Trump had to say at the NABJ when he starts to talk about her identity.
President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me if you
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She is always
But you know
identified
what?
as a Black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
Black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a Black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I
that she
think
is
somebody should look into that too when you ask
Get the real
continue
cause.
in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I really
Republicans
don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that.
Well, you told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion.
Right, so you heard that back and forth about, you know, see, now last night when we conducted a live stream and I talked about this, way before Trump talked about it, I said the issue is with her, she can double dutch in and out of Blackness when she wants to. She can go in somebody's face and say, hey, I'm Indian. Then the next minute she tried to go in people's face and say, I'm Black. Then the next minute she could say, I'm Indian. This next minute she could say, I'm Black. So she's been doing this double dutch, and instead of standing on her identity, and this is why Trump brought up, say, well, hey, the whole time I knew she say she was East Indian, but now she's saying she's Black.
That was
and I said that last night because people like her try to play that kind of game. They don't want to commit to one way or another. Now, some of them in her position do commit to one way or another, but what she's doing, she don't want to commit to either way because, you know, it depends on who she's in front of. That's who she's going to identify as. It's like being a chameleon. Now, people talking about her father and all of that. So this is I'm gonna play this clip real quick of her father, because when he said that now she says she's Black. She is, based off you hearing this father of hers, you're gonna know exactly on her father's side where she come from. And we'll get to that conversation. So let's go ahead and run this clip of her father speaking back in 1989.
To address some of the issues that the previous two speakers have raised by posing some questions of my own that I consider rather intriguing, in the hope that by so doing I could bring out some more general issues that lie behind the arguments and positions that they've taken. First of all, let me begin by saying that one striking thing to me about the so-called debt crisis is the striking amount of public attention it has received. Judging, for instance, from the amount of newsprint and other coverage by the media that has been devoted to it, I would say it ranks second.
Clearly here, her father, Donald Harris, is, you heard the Jamaican accent. So when she don't even want to claim Jamaican, she's claiming black. Black is people like myself that's from the soil of America, that's descendant of slaves in this country, right? Now, her father is, a Jamaican. You hear the accent. Her grandmother, Beryl, she's Jamaican. She's dark-skinned Jamaican, right? Now, her mother is East Indian, Shimala. Now, her parents were married from 1963 to 1971. Okay, so they've been divorced for a very, very long time. She don't even want to claim her Jamaican heritage. She keeps saying black. Why? Because claiming a black is an advantage in this country. She don't want to claim her Jamaican heritage. She's been claiming Indian too for a very long time. She says she's black, but she never claimed Jamaican. Why not claim the Jamaican? What's wrong with Jamaica? I'm trying to figure that out. She is a Jamaican woman and she is a East Indian woman. She is not black like us. She's trying to say, I'm black like you. No, you're not. You haven't even been represented. You say, I went to HBCU. There are white people that go to HBCUs. There are Asian people that go to HBCUs. There are Arab people that go to HBCUs. There are East Indian people like her that go to HBCUs. Not everybody at HBCU is black. So why is it you think you got a so-called black card because you went to an HBCU? Why? You got HBCU, Prairie View University right here. They got white people that go there all the time. So what are you talking about? TSU is another one. You have Asians that go through the pharmacy program at TSU. See that happen all the time. That don't mean they're black. So you don't get no black card because you went to an HBCU. Maybe that's the school you could have got in, but the other ones, that's PWI, you couldn't have got into that. We don't know. But that woman is Jamaican. She's not black. Black people, FBA, Solon, whatever names you want to say, that's our people. She's Jamaican. She don't want to represent even Jamaicans. That's the part that I don't understand. But see what happens when you keep double dutching out of blackness. And yes, she said that because when she did that interview with Mindy Kaling in the Indian actress in that kitchen, I remember a lot of y'all have seen that. She said, yeah, my household and all that. This woman grew up Indian. She didn't grow up with her father like that because her parents got divorced. She has more of an Indian background and Indian upbringing than the Jamaican upbringing. Because if she was raised in the Jamaican household and all of that constantly, she would have that thick Jamaican accent. But at the same time, it lets you know why she's so pro-immigration. She's very pro-immigration because that's how her parents came here. That's why she's pro-immigration. If she was from the soil, she would understand why immigration at this dispensation of time hurts Black Americans, how in Chicago, that same city, how migrants have been dumped in the city. It doesn't bother her. Remember when we talk about the prosecutions of Black Americans in California, it didn't bother her because she has no connection to us. Because you can say, well, it doesn't mean Jamaicans are, no. She's not look, Usain Bolt, that's a Jamaican, right? That's a Jamaican. Usain Bolt was raised in a Jamaican household with Jamaican lineage upbringing. Kamala, yes, her father is Jamaican. We clearly hear the accent. But her mother is East Indian, and she's going to raise her kids like East Indians raise their children. It's just bottom line.
Anybody living in Jamaica pick up that accent.
She don't have connection to us like that. She is. See, what happens is she's no different than any other migrant that come over here, use us to get ahead. She's not leaning on the Jamaican community. She's not even leaning on the East Indian community to help her get out the vote. You understand what I'm saying? But if she do something special, oh, this is the first Indian, she may come up and say, well, for politics, she's going to say black, right? She's going to say black for politics. She is. But that jumping in and out of blackness stuff, I don't trust that. Stand on something, and that way I can respect it. But the media, oh my God, he said that or whatever. But Kamala created that atmosphere for people to say it. If she would have said a long time ago, I'm a Jamaican woman and also I'm East Indian as well. My mother's East Indian, my father's Jamaican, And that's that. If she'd always identified as a Jamaican Indian, okay, cool. But she didn't do that. So the questions about identity, once again, fall on her and her shoulders. But with Trump in that situation, that was, boy, Trump don't back down for nothing. And I see some people trying to say, oh, Trump talking to those black women. That, man, I watched Trump talk to everybody that way. I've seen him talk to white women that way. I've seen him talk to Asian women that way. I've seen him talk to men that way. Trump talked that way constantly to people. But Harris Faulkner was up there, a black woman. He didn't have nothing much to say to her. He likes Harris Faulkner. Oh, she worked for Fox News. Well, Harris wasn't talking and, trying to basically be on the attack. You got the other two. There was the one sister in the middle kind of asked some questions that was legitimate for sure. But that one that was closest to him, she was on that, I'm on that Democrat attack mode. And then the other question I have for the NABJ, just a question. You couldn't have one black male reporter?
Come on, man. No.
You couldn't have none? That's a question I have. All those black men in NABJ, and not one could have been up there asking. And black men is going to be a very, very important part in this election, and you didn't have not a black man up there? Why? Look, Boule Martin was mad that he couldn't be up there. We already know what Boule Martin would have done, so I'm kind of glad they didn't put him up there. But you have plenty of black men that's in the NABJ that could have questioned Trump. A lot. I wanted to know, they questioned him on inflation. I wanted to know about interest rates. I didn't hear them question about interest rates. Like, ask them about Kamala's identity and DEI. I don't care. If I'm going to interview Trump, I don't care about DEI and all that. What I want to know is, for black people, the interest rates are what, 7%, 6-7%? What are you going to do on day one about getting the interest rates back down to what it was? Because your interest rates affect your inflation, affect everything. Your interest rates. It makes it difficult when the interest rates are extremely high. It makes your credit card bills high. It makes everything high that you have, right? Your mortgage, anything. So we need to get these interest rates down. He mentioned that he was going to, basically promote, a better energy policy, which affects some of the pricing too. But they didn't ask him the full scope about inflation that I would have asked him. I would have asked him about reparations too. I would have had to ask him, oh, hey, look, Trump, we want to know about reparations. Nobody going to ask about reparations? Like, come on, I would ask him. I say, hey, based on how you answer this question, this is how some people going to vote for you. Based on, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to go to war. Even if I had to go ask Kamala something, I would not ask her no dumb questions about Trump. I want to ask about her policies. That's it. Not nothing about Trump. I don't want to hear about Trump if I'm talking with her. All I want to know is what is her policies for Black Americans, and here are the questions I'm about to ask you. It's not my time to argue and go back and forth with Trump. That's not my time. I need to get the questions. I'm thinking about the people. I'm not thinking about myself. NABJ, you could have had me up there. I would have definitely asked Trump a lot of questions about Black Americans. A lot. You in Chicago, I would have been sitting up there telling him and say, hey, listen, they got many Black Americans in Chicago right now dealing with a migrant crisis. What would you do day one to alleviate the migrant crisis right here in Chicago for Black Americans who haven't, I went through the whole spiel about Chicago. That's what I'm saying. You got these so-called journalists up there, but you're not even asking the right questions to Donald Trump. Well, I'm going to go through some more of this, probably bring some more podcasts with this from the NABJ. But NABJ, y'all kind of dropped the ball. No Black men up there, not a one. And you're not even hitting him with the right questions that you should be asking Donald Trump. Yes, they asked him about Sonia Massey, which is good. But you need to ask him a whole lot more than that in relation to Black people. Then it was embarrassing on top of that y'all didn't even have the equipment running right. That's the embarrassing part. Like the one time that we need to shine on something as Black people, you know what I'm saying? But You know, now Trump went in a hostile environment, especially that lady sitting next to him. Will Kamala Harris go on Fox News or Newsmax? Will she go on those platforms that could be hostile toward her and sit down and do an interview with them? I think she should. If Trump went over there, she needs to go over there.
All the people she could have chose, Kamala Harris picked Meg Thee Stallion to open up her rally in Atlanta. And that's not against Meg Thee Stallion. I love a good twerk every now and then. But optics matter, folks. Optics matter.
I just watched your little halftime show. Your little,
Come on, man. People, elders, respectable. And I want you to understand, see this thing. We got some of our elders, they righteous people. A lot of them don't cuss, don't smoke, don't drink, love the Lord, you know. Civil rights workers, we don't like the way they do their revolution, but they good people. A lot of our elders, bro, they don't deserve that crap right there that Kamala Harris just pulled off. That's nonsense. They stayed away from that. I want you to think about that. Come on, man. Growing up in my house, we couldn't be, boy, my dad and them, he better not walk in the room and you watching none of that. But all of a sudden, it's okay to have that's the politics of our elders because of this Democratic Party. That's disgusting. They don't give a shit about our elders.
Well, Meg Thee Stallion, I know you call it a Bradley, but I beg you different, ma'am. In 2024, this is how the presidential candidates get black votes because they think we need ratchet, bougie, classic. I love me some Meg Thee Stallion, don't get me wrong, but I think I'd rather look at Megan at her concerts, listen to her in my ear, or watch like on TikTok or something like that. I don't know if this was the right.
To do with this.
Maybe, yeah, I'm really speechless. I don't even know why I made this video because I don't even know what to say about it. And maybe just me. Maybe it's 2024. And this is how they cook it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if y'all agree or not. Y'all know me, I'm my bullshit lately. So maybe I'm
man, come on, man. It's like wrong. You know, that's like one of those ancient cities. Nebuchadnezzar sitting on the throne and bring me the dancers, and then these scantily clad women come out there twirling around, and you know. Who do you want to be king? You old great and Nebuchadnezzar. That type of bullshit. But this is the deal. I'm telling you what. Here come the Democrats. They bringing back the harlot spirit. You know, the Jezebel spirit through her. Move over the crowd. And you don't know how many women went home, smothered their husband, killed them. A small argument started. Y'all don't understand it. Why was you looking at Megan like that? Slap the hell out of him. I'm trying to tell you. It's some people got into it. You was looking a little too hard, wasn't you? You think I'm lying? I'm telling you what I know, man. Demonic, man.
Okay, and I'm just tripping.
Somebody got hot grits thrown on their ass last night behind
Kente cloths, twerk clothes,
that wasn't even no concert.
Fried chicken, Southern draws. I keep hot sauce in my purse. You could take all this footage, all of the footage of the Democrats addressing the black community over the years and make a daggone full-length film, and we could call it Black Pander because that's what these people do. Every daggone election year, they come around and they do this type of foolishness. Black people, are y'all not tired of this? Are y'all not tired of the disrespect? Black women, are y'all not tired of the disrespect? Really? Meg Thee Stallion and Quavo? Meg Thee Stallion twerking? Can somebody in the comment section somebody in the comment section that wants to support Kamala Harris in this whack, evil institution of the Democrat Party. Can y'all tell me what her policies are? Because I couldn't find them on her website.
Niggas, they talk about Quavo. Who? Quavo? Man, y'all better stop playing, man. And then Kamala Harris talking about it. Like my friend Quavo said, Trump doesn't walk it like he talks. It's just so crazy, bro. And they talking about the Republicans pandering. That's called pandering, bro. Why is she pandering to black people? What the hell is Quavo doing here? Quavo needs to show us his voters registration card. Show me he got a voters registration card for taking any voters advice from Quavo. Get the fuck out of here.
I haven't heard her say anything about the policies that she wants to push.
Quavo need to pay his parking tickets. I ain't listening to niggas who got tickets, man.
She wants to make sure women have the ability to abort their terminate their pregnancies. This is flat out ridiculous, man. This is flat out ridiculous. And black people, man, if y'all fall for this bull, if y'all fall for this again, you deserve whatever you get, man.
Come on, man. They're going to shake their booty to the floor, man. We're here to try to stop the most.
Just
many as we
watching that,
can.
it upset me. And the sad part about it is you had people on social media posting this like it was a good thing. Now, shout out to the sisters, shout out to the brother.
We're going to cleanse them with
a plethora of other people that have stood up.
Remember, everybody who was
voiced their opinion against this madness.
Silly.
But there's entirely too many people, entirely too many women that are standing up and vouching for that madness that happened in Atlanta. It's a slap in the face, man.
Oh, we know where
they don't take y'all serious as serious voters. They don't have to offer you anything.
Yeah, let them come out. That's that sugar daddy music. All the women cheering that, they want a sugar daddy. We didn't know who they are. It's making it easy. Oh, you like that? Good. You know what her mind at now. No, don't know. Keep posting it. That you on your Meg Thee Stallion hot girl summer. Good. There you go. Those are the ones we don't want to be around. They'll backdoor you, nigga. Oh, please don't let them know where you at. No addresses for them. Please. This is good. See, all this ain't bad for you. It's castor oil. It tastes bad, but it's good for you. You see? We got to draw a line in the sand, nigga. You know, like a Moses came down from the mountaintop, nigga. It's time.
Like you are a productive citizen. They bring rappers and twerkers out here. It's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. We're going to get into this video right here, man. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. Drop me a comment down below. We try to bring the truth on a day-to-day basis, man. Some of y'all got to freaking wake the heck up, man. This is embarrassing.
No, see, Quavo, I got to make the video about Quavo in a moment. Because I got to get Quavo the proper attention that he needs. And he needs to explain to us why do he feel like a boy can be a girl and a girl can be a boy? Quavo needs to tell us it's okay. Love who you want to love, Quavo. That's serious business. I'm not going to try to bully Quavo if that was him coming out. I don't know. Was that him coming out? But he on the Democratic platform. He vouching for Kamala. Okay, you vouching for they platform, which they saying a boy can be a girl can be a boy. Do y'all see? I'm gonna play that video. Do y'all see in the Olympics? All over the internet, they don't want to talk about it. I see about a couple of videos snatched down where a man who says he's a woman now, he boxed her. He beat up a real woman. She had to tap out in 46 seconds. Face was bruised. He almost killed her. She couldn't take the beating. In the Olympics. You heard about that Sodom and Gomorrah they already had playing with the Lord's Supper. But this is the Democratic platform where men could say they're women and then get into women's sports and beat them up, slam them. Yes, because that's what they're allowing. So people like Quavo and them, this serious business, any of them rappers, I don't give a damn who they is. Whatever your name is, rapper, Democratic rapper, you come on out here for Democrats, I want to know. And regular people too. Why are you okay with men being in women's sports? Because they can't say, I ain't for that. Yeah, you is, nigga. You voting for it. See, some people are like, oh, no. I don't believe no man could be no woman. Obviously you do. You voting for it.
Joining us now is Stacey Washington, host of Stacey on the Right, Sirius XM Patriot Radio, and Anton Daniels, YouTuber and content creator. Anton, let's start with you. You just went viral for an exchange that you had with a Kamala supporter. Let's watch.
Would you vote for? Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to just be real honest with this. She's a Black woman.
Is it only because she's a Black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
We're in 3 proxy wars. She failed at the border. She has no policy, no record to stand on.
Okay, Anton, first of all, I think I forwarded that to 20 of my friends. That was such an awesome takedown. But tell us about that, because I saw some of the other participants like nervously drinking their Coke or whatever they were drinking. But tell us about your interactions with people who happen to be African American who instinctively seem to go for Kamala because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I think it's unfortunate because the majority of my interactions is me being looked at as the bad guy, because ultimately they think that I'm supposed to be on code, even though I know and they know that it's not in our best interest, in my family's best interest, in the country's best interest. And when we continue to play identity politics, the thing that they usually refer to is our previous history in electing people in office that ultimately even they will concede that they didn't have our best interests at heart. And so when I'm interacting with these people, often at times it's very difficult for them to step outside of being on code in order to do the thing that's even in their best interest. So I'm often looked at as a bad guy, but in reality, they know I'm telling the truth. And that's why it's so difficult for them to be able to convey and then debate what it is that I'm telling them, because they already know what the truth is. They're not unfamiliar with what it is that they experienced over the last 3.5 years. They're suffering. They don't have jobs. They have lower wages. They can't pay their bills. And so when they experience this, but it's very difficult for us as a community to then break away from the popular thing to do because they don't want to be a part of the cool kids club anymore.
Well,
golly, I couldn't articulate that any better. And he is absolutely right. I've spoken to so many people, out there, just, round and about in my neighborhood and, in the community that I live in that have voiced some of the similar things that Anton just mentioned. They've talked about, the gas prices. They've talked about, how expensive food is. They've talked about the lack of positions that are out there. I know this administration want to gaslight and say, hey, it's the lowest unemployment in 50 years, but they're not accounting for the people that just gave up and just stopped looking for positions. So many people have lost their jobs dating back to 2022. And it's a crying shame that this administration won't talk about it. And it's a crying shame that the mainstream media won't report on it. And you have Black people that are suffering. They've brought these illegal immigrants across the border and they've placed them in those communities. They're expecting, I've heard scuttlebutt in this, through the scuttlebutt that they're expecting maybe some form of Black and brown, race war of some sort, because they're putting these people in the same communities and they're having to, go at each other for the same resources. That's what this party is doing. And for the sake of quote unquote being on code, you have people willing to go against what's actually best for them, what's best for their family, what's best for their community, and what's best overall for the American people and for this country to quote unquote stay on code. Flat out ridiculous, man. And it's upsetting.
Stacey, I have to say that seems to sum it up. It's reflexive, and it takes a lot of courage. You know that. Of course, Anton knows that. I clerk for Justice Thomas. I mean, they're still beating him up all these years later. So it's a tough place to be, but it's factually the right place to be. So, Stacey, how do you handle this? And by the way, Kamala Harris behind in Georgia in the swing state poll average, I think by 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. So she's speaking in Atlanta, lots of Kamala signs behind her. One white dude behind her, I see him. Stacey, thoughts on this?
Laura, I think Anton hit the nail on the head. This is about policy, and no one, I don't care who you are, if you're a white woman, a Black woman, it doesn't matter what your skin is. What matters is, how do these policies impact you? How does the policy of open borders and giving jobs to foreigners instead of Americans impact your bottom line? How does the double-digit inflation, which stacks up month after month, is cumulative, impact your bottom line? Can you still save money? Can you take a vacation? Can you buy that home? Can you upgrade? Can you move out of an apartment into a house? These are very real impacts, Anton described them well. And I think when I find people that only want me to address my life as if I get up every morning and say, what am I going to do today because I'm Black? They don't understand me. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm just somebody's mom on the radio. I'm just somebody's mom on Laura Ingraham tonight for the first time. Thank you. But I'm sitting here listening to Anton. He makes sense. And what makes sense to me is what the policy is, you know?
Well, okay, these are facts, okay? And into the image making of Kamala, even the New York Times today, and forgive me for not having the direct quote, but the New York Times today had to write a piece about Kamala's biographical transformation. And there was a piece about how her father, who's of Jamaican descent, he was a Marxist economist at Stanford, socialist Marxist economist at Stanford. He's still alive. Very controversial, but he's a tenured professor at Stanford University. That she never really talked much about him, that he's kind of a footnote in her biography. But then she leans into it, Anton, and President Trump spoke about this with me. She leans into it, I guess, for her political benefit.
Absolutely. And I think that identity politics is the play. When you don't have anything else to lean on, when you spent the majority of the time being absent, and then on top of that, you then advocated for being part of the alphabet community, which I call them, and then you failed at the border to the tune of the estimation of 10 to 15 million migrants coming into this country illegally. What else do you have to stand on? So then you start to lean on the thing that even Black people, honestly, when I'm having these conversations, Black people don't even consider her a part of the cool kids club, but they have to lean on it in order to have something to even be able to hold on to instead of just saying, hey, listen, Trump is the best candidate. They want to say that I want to be a part of the Democratic Party. So they figure out a way to validate themselves to be a part of this movement, which is not even best for them. It's silly.
Stacey, a friend of mine who went to law school with me, just messaged me. We were told from the beginning that they couldn't argue the issues. And they know that Trump is better on the economy, better on defending our interests, better on the border, stopping illegal immigration. He won't drag us into war. So all they do is revert back to the childish games as we saw with the white dudes for Kamala. I mean, how pathetic is that? It's almost like it's I thought actually a conservative must have made that. I thought that whole Zoom was created by a conservative because it was so repulsive, but it was so funny. I think in one of the people speaking, I think a lot of the mail-in ballots were hidden. But it's a very strange. They think that helps them.
Yeah, they do. But I think, there are people in America whose incomes are such that these double-digit inflationary impacts don't really mean anything to them. They're insulated from the policy decisions they make in the ballot box. But for most Americans, that's not the case. And even if you are wealthy, if you care about your bottom line, if you're actually very frugal and you pay attention to your money, you don't want to see double-digit inflation. You don't want to see America sending $200 billion to Ukraine. You don't want to see boots on the ground, our own children spilling our blood and treasure abroad for something that we really have no interest in. And you really want to see some cogent domestic policy that prioritizes some of our very serious issues that we had, even coming out of the pandemic: homelessness, mental health crisis, healthcare. There are some things we need to do.
I know, but Stacey, you're dealing in the realm of facts. When you actually see interviews, when people are pushed on this who are refusing to think differently, they'll say stuff like, well, but he's not going to be good on equity. Right, Anton? Equity. He's going to disembowel equity. What I say to folks is, how is equity? How's all the equity of the last 3.5 years worked out for your communities? Illegal immigrants using your schools?
It's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible, and it's so funny because I've been seeing this whole movement, right, where they first leverage sororities and fraternities as far as the Divine Nine to try to include them in order to try to get her to be obviously presidential. I don't think that it's working because everybody that's in my community and the people that I speak with, especially Black men, are even disappointed in white men. And that why would you then follow white women who are extreme feminists and then let them follow Black women in order to try to be a part of this cool kids club?
Oh my God.
When you can't stand on policy and you can't stand on real things that's going to help everyday Americans, especially those that are in these Democratic hellholes that are suffering the most. It's insane.
We got Stacey and Anton, fantastic first appearances on the Ingraham Angle. Love
Anton is on it. Stacey, she was on it. Shout out to Laura Ingraham from having both of them on this show, on her platform. and giving them the opportunity to, share this information, because people need to see this. I mean, come on, man. We got people that are struggling to pay their bills. They're struggling to make it, but yet they want 4 more years of this foolishness. Come on, make it make sense, man. Totally off of identity politics. Do you mean to tell me we have people out there that would prefer a old Black woman that's not going to do anything to improve our economy, actually going to continue to implement the policies that put us in the situation that we're in right now? They're not going to cut the border off. They're going to exacerbate the situation that we have at our southern border. And y'all want to keep this individual in to check a box for the identity politics and quote unquote equity. This is insane. She's not holding rallies talking about the policies and what she plans to do for this country to right this ship and get us pointed in the right direction. No, that's not what she's doing. She's bringing people like Meg Thee Stallion and Quavo to twerk for y'all. She's going and hung out, at the RuPaul drag race. Skip the meeting, with a world leader to go to a sorority fraternity meeting. This is not a serious person. Come on, come on, man. Come on. On top of the fact, we have people that consider themselves to be Christians. We have people that consider themselves to be followers of Christ that is supporting this lady. How? How can you call yourself a follower of Christ and believe and support the evil institution known as the Democratic Party? How? The two ideologies are antithetical to each other. How can you justify it? You can't, because you're stuck in racial idolatry. You're stuck in the identity politics realm of things. And you're willing to support someone who actually disrespects what you believe in, all in the name of racial idolatry and identity politics. Guys, it is time to get serious about this situation here, man. It is time to get serious. It really is. I know every 4 years, every 2 years an election comes around. They say that this is the most important election in your life. This is probably hands down the most important election, in our lives. We can't stomach another 4 years of what we have going on right now. We just can't. This country will not be the same. Please take the time to do your research. Please take the time to do your due diligence. Get an understanding of the parties. Get an understanding of the policies or lack thereof. And vote accordingly.
The first black female president. Let's get this done, Hottie. Hottie for Harris. Hi.
I'm Megan. Why was you on that stage twerking? Oh no, I love Meg. That's my girl, and I'm always stand on business when it comes to her. Girl, you was on that presidential stage twerking. Girl, we cannot be acting like that in front of the TV.
Now, Kamala Harris, I just watched your little halftime show. Your little, halftime show with Meg Thee Stallion. I know you call it a rally, but I beg to differ. In 2024, this is how the presidential candidates get black votes, because they think we need ratchet, bougie, classic. I love me some Meg Thee Stallion, don't get me wrong. But I think I'd rather look at Megan at her concerts, listen to her in my ear, or watch like on TikTok or something like that. I don't know if this was the right approach.
So instead of Kamala Harris giving us policy to benefit Black people, she gave us checking Megan Thee Stallion. That is what she thinks Black people deserves.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
See, 4 years ago, they gave y'all Cardi B at the height of her song WAP, Wet SSPUS. This year, they're coming with Megan Thee Stallion. Black women, if y'all don't sit y'all silly asses down looking all stupid.
Why the hell was Megan Thee Stallion twerking at Kamala Harris' presidential speech? It is a time and a place for that, honey. I could have went to a concert to see that. And Kamala, it's too much serious stuff going on right now in the world for you to be playing like that. Why did you think that was cool? Why did you think that was funny? Anybody that's running for president right now, it is serious right now in this world.
And please give it up for Quavo and Megan.
You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you're not a colleague, you're a colonizer.
She really disrespected Black women by coming to Atlanta for a check balance and turning her campaign rally into Magic City.
Playing Black.
Of course, he have her supporters, the Boule, like Jamel Hill and friends. They're going to take up for this Indian woman no matter what. But other Black women are not condoning popping thought pockets for votes.
To those Black queens who ain't going.
Why they got Megan Thee Stallion and the potential president-elect rallying at an event in Atlanta, Georgia? See, they keep running the same old play, y'all. They suck your energy dry, lower your frequency and vibration, and then pull the rug up from under you. And then when you land on your ass, they wondering how you got there. You asking for help, they like, oh, no, I can't help you. They keep doing the same old thing. Y'all got all of these washed up people coming to this event trying to gauge votes and attention from people when really y'all need to be connecting with the people and not trying to use celebrities as a way to gauge people for votes.
These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns.
The game is getting tired and old. Then y'all trying to blame Trump for the migrant issue when you've been in office for 4 years and you could have done something about it, but you haven't done anything. Even the people that you working around been trying to get you to do something and you haven't done nothing. You even said out your mouth you ain't done nothing. So now all of a sudden, if you become the president, you gonna change it? No, I doubt it, because you had 4 years to try to work on change and you didn't. So at this point, y'all need to stop coming with the tired game. Y'all keep problem, action, solution. Y'all create problems and then y'all come up with solutions when y'all are the problem. Okay, just in case you did not know it, on yesterday, Kamala Harris had a rally in Atlanta, and it gave you like, oh, Atlanta's hype for her. Like, people are so excited for her. I know you felt it. I know you saw it. She even brought out ratchet Megan Thee Stallion, shaking her butt, twerking for a political rally, talking about hotties for Harris.
The first Black female president. Let's get this done, hotties. Hotties for Harris.
That did not turn your stomach. Like, that is pandering, like, if you've ever heard it. But that's not the catch 'em. Do not let that rally looking fool you, because Fulton County has been doing this for years. Before the rallies, they get busloads and they go pick up the homeless people. They offer them food, drink, and a little change to come to the rally, so the rallies will look full. Now, you got to realize she just dealt with the rally, and I want to say it was Pennsylvania, where it was less than 60 people. It was quite embarrassing for her. And so that's not going to go down in this blackity black city. Okay. It's just not going to go down. They are absolutely going to make sure that thing looks packed out. So I want you to know, that's why you only saw certain angles as well. But I want you to know people aren't for her like that. That's why they're having to pick up homeless people. That being said, I'm going to give her this. She's not the only one. It is a very Fulton County, Atlanta thing. You can see it before all of the Democratic rallies. You can see it. Now, I've never seen them pick up people and pay them to vote Democratic, but it's been said for years. for years that they literally will go pick up homeless people on the days of the election and pay them to vote. They need the money, so they do it because what poor and desperate is what they're banking on. I haven't seen that, but I have absolutely, and I saw yesterday them picking up the homeless people to come to the rally. So do not be fooled. They'll tell you it's a lie. I'm telling you, this right here, 1000% the truth.
The fact that Kamala Harris put Quavo and Meg Thee Stallion on stage yesterday at her rally is mind-boggling to me, right? In my opinion, it really shows what she feel and think about the Black community. Of all people, Michelle Obama wasn't available, Condoleezza Rice wasn't available, someone who's actually a good role model that young children could look up to, but that's neither here nor there, right? Instead of putting her on stage to twerk, you could have put her on stage to speak about gun reform. You could have actually used Quavo to do the same thing, but instead you chose to take another direction. I don't know what that was about. Now, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And if we just fell for that, then that literally just set us back thousands of years, not hundreds, all right? And if that's literally all it takes to get your vote, then that says a lot about us, the Black community. Because here's the thing. We still haven't heard any policies. We still haven't heard anything about bills. Is the girl going to say anything about reparations? That's neither here nor there, right? I can guarantee you, though, that the elders was probably embarrassed and a little disgusted. I can guarantee you that the ancestors was upset, too. That's probably why we had that major storm in Atlanta last night. See, here's the deal, people. This is not your actual high school debate or your high school popular person, right? This is real life. We need somebody that can be in office that will stand on 10 if we need them to, if we were to have to go to war. We need somebody that can stand on business if we go into another pandemic or something of that nature. We need somebody who can actually sit at the table with these world leaders, right? And work things out and negotiate to the point things don't have to get real, if you understand where I'm coming from. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to go in here because I know y'all don't want to hear my opinion, especially because it's not a popular opinion. But if that's what the election is coming to, then we should probably stop while we're ahead.
I'm just wondering when the Black community is going to realize the Democratic Party does not take us seriously. Or more so, they don't think they were smart. Their strategy for decades has been hiring Black entertainers to endorse them. Fast forward 2024, they're still doing the same thing. It is even worse. Because now they sprinkling a little bit of ratchetness into it for relatability. And I'm just like, last election, Joe Biden's campaign for the Black vote was telling Black people that they not Black if they don't vote for him. And getting some strippers to twerk with the word vote wrote on their booty. And also, for some odd reason, hiring Cardi B to endorse him, even though Cardi B's not Black, but she was used to get the Black vote, not her own people vote, but our vote. Now we got Kamala Harris throwing a rally and Megan Thee Stallion is performing, Megan Thee Stallion is twerking, and y'all swear to God, this is to reach the Black youth and get the Black. Listen, these people don't take us seriously. They are not twerking and dancing and partying to get anybody else's vote. They are discussing policy, new laws, bills, resolutions for their community. They don't do that for us, though.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
Kamala Harris literally got in office and told y'all that she's not going to push nothing for Black people just because she's Black. That should have let y'all know right then and there. They only want the Black vote for numbers so that they can get elected. But they ain't got nothing for Black people. And no, this is not an endorsement for Trump or the right or Republican Party. This is simply a critique to Democrats to be more serious when engaging with Black American voters. We are not a monolith. We're not all ignorant. We're not all party heads. And matter of fact, there's a time and place for all of it. We can party and we can get serious about policies and laws to protect us. You do not have to dumb yourself down to engage with Black Americans. And bless Megan Thee Stallion's heart. Because while I know it was a big thing for her to perform, it just made her look like a puppet to me. She shouldn't have showed up as Megan Thee Stallion. She should have been Megan P. She should have had a speech. She shouldn't have been doing TikTok dances. Like, I don't know, y'all. I'm just so annoyed. Nobody takes us seriously. And Malcolm X himself clocked his T years ago.
Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the Black community by the white community and have been made celebrities.
Long live Malcolm.
She has used us for years. You notice how she only dated brothers to get her career accelerated and to climb to the top of that public service, air quotes, ladder. You know who they are. I don't need to go over it. But when she got what she needed,
black man for some meat.
She went to Doug
marriage
Emma,
material. That's how she feel about black.
Who is white?
Ain't marriage material.
What message do y'all think they was trying to send by having Meg perform at Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta? Like, I've seen a bunch of videos already from black women who are so defensive. Y'all so defensive. Y'all so emotional. And they know that. They know that. Y'all defensive to other black women who just like, why? We don't get the correlation. We don't see why you would have Meg at this rally. And mind you, I'm a Meg fan. I am a Meg fan. But I didn't see the correlation.
I'm glad she turned a lot of her fans off.
And if you look at the people that's behind me while she's performing, they confused. They're confused. I want us to stop being so emotional and really start using logic. Like, because in my opinion, that is exactly how they see us. They think all we need is some music, some booty shaking, and some lyrics that we can recite, and that's gonna get us moving. That's gonna get us to the polls. That's gonna sway us. That's why they do like that. That is all they think of us. They don't see where we are going to use any logic, where we're going to do any research, where we're going to come with any demands. All they see is put what's popular in front of them.
Shout out to all of those ladies. Clearly, all black women are not capping for Kamala, the cosplaying chameleon. There are black women who see through this. And let me tell you, Kamala and Meg Thee Stallion, they have some things in common. One being the sitting vice president and the political leader of the 304 agenda. The other being the entertainment leader of the 304 agenda. These folks are spreading nothing but degeneracy to the black community. I've been saying for the longest, a city girl isn't just Carisha and JT. It's easy to come for the perceived ratchet. But what about the city girl in the boardroom in high positions? Yeah, like Tiffany Teflon Tahoe.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Or even the first Indian vice president. Meg Thee Stallion, she's got the case out in California where Tory Lanez was locked up, even though it was allegedly her own friend who used that weapon. A state where Kamala Harris got a black man on death row with false evidence. They had to force her to release the evidence for that man to receive justice. I'm talking about a rogue prosecutor that spent years railroading black men and even sabotaging black women, targeting them, trying to put them in jail over truancy. Those women would drop their kids off at school and their rebellious child would leave. Kamala would go to their homes to intimidate and try to arrest those women, black women. And after years of being presented in California as the first Indian American woman for all those positions, she's been cosplaying as a black woman since she hit the national stage and lined black women up at her campaign rally to encourage them to vote for her as the first city girl president. Dancing, singing, and fish fries is what black voters have to look forward to. No policies, no agenda, nothing for us. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about these women speaking out. Special thank you to Creed, Emmanuel.
When we're talking about Kamala Harris, I think we have to bring up a rally that she did recently in Atlanta. Kamala Harris decided to travel to Atlanta. And of course, Atlanta is populated by a lot of African Americans, a lot of Black people. And Kamala knew, I guess, she had to lean into this sort of Black version of herself. And she is no stranger to rolling out the AAVE, the African American Vernacular English. She did so in a little skit she did for the BET Awards with with Taraji P. Henson, where she told Taraji, you know, I be out here in these streets.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
I don't know what streets she's talking about, but that's how she chose to
Well,
speak for
she
the
for the
BET
political
Awards.
streets.
Now,
She for the
for her
streets.
crowd in Atlanta, she's bringing up Quavo. She's having Megan Thee Stallion perform. She's talking like this. Let's roll a clip here.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
And like, look at the Black people in the back who get the reference to Quavo's music, Walk It Like I Talk It. You guys know that song probably if you listen to rap music. And of course, she brought Quavo out to give his own endorsement and talk about voting for her. You know, as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it. She's trying to code switch. But the thing is, when you code switch to a code that you don't speak and you have never spoken, it doesn't exactly make sense. And it's like you are playing a character for the crowd.
When have I ever not kept it 100?
Which is exactly what she's doing here. She knew she was coming to Atlanta, and now she's going to roll out this black scent that she's going to use for a Black crowd in order to encourage them to vote for her. She's going to start talking about how she gets her hair straight, and no, it's not a silk press, you know, it's a hot brush. That's what I use on my hair, and bring out Quavo and Meg Thee Stallion and roll out whatever slang I can. And it's slang that she's not used to using, and it's slang that she's not going to use in virtually any other city that she visits, so long as the crowd is not majority Black, okay? She's going to switch to a different way of speaking to different people because that's what she does. That's what politicians do. I will say it's not what Donald Trump does. It would be astounding to watch Trump try to code switch for a Black audience. But no, Kamala Harris will do it because that's what she does. There's another clip of her doing it. Let's watch it.
So let's get right. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
We gonna do it again in 2024. Please be so fucking for real right now. She does not talk like that. She has never spoken like that in her life. And you know they had to just like brief her on probably actually they didn't brief her. If they had consulted one Black person, I think, in what she should say in talking to a crowd from Atlanta, one normal Black person probably would have told her not to do this. I think she was relying on her own stereotypes that she has of Black people and decided to utilize them on this crowd, thinking that it was going to hype them up. And I guess for some it does. For some people, as a Black people, I guess as soon as you roll out a little bit of slang, you feel like there's some sort of sisterhood involved there and, oh, she knows me, she understands me. But please, can we not see through the fakeness here? And if Kamala Harris couldn't really pretend to take on this sort of, I don't even know what we call it. I don't even want to call it Blackness because that's not what I define Blackness to be. But if she couldn't dupe the crowd into thinking that she's one of them, she'll bring out somebody like Meg Thee Stallion to do it. Let's watch the TikTok that was posted on Kamala Harris's TikTok.
What's up, honey? This is your girl, Meg Thee Stallion, aka the Hot Girl Coach, reporting live with the future president of the United States.
Everybody,
what do you have to say to the American people?
we are not going back.
What's up, honey?
Okay, now I get it. Meg Thee Stallion, big figure, big celebrity, you know, big within the Black community. Do you think it's exactly presidential to be rolling out Meg Thee Stallion? And I say this as somebody who listens to Meg Thee Stallion's music. I love rap music. I love Meg. I love Nicki, despite their beef, and we could talk about who won that at a later date, okay? I love Kendrick and J. Cole and all these figures, and that's so cool, you know, that I guess they're interested in politics and want to make an impact. But is it exactly presidential to have Meg Thee Stallion at your rally in Atlanta twerking? in front of the whole crowd. No, it's not. But they did it anyways because Kamala Harris wants to do this thing where she plays around and placates to Black people and panders towards them and thinks that Meg Thee Stallion is going to do that for her. So Meg Thee Stallion actually did perform. Let's roll that clip. Okay, so there you go.
That's
She's
what
got her blue suit on to
that's
represent
what
the Democrat.
all of those Democrats get who don't like that type of stuff, who went there shoe shiny buck dancing and they had to sit through that. That's what the fuck they get for supporting this. Only Democrats would have brought you that nonsense.
Party. What is it that you think of Black people?
Savage.
Who is it that you think Black people are? That this is what you do when you come to Atlanta. And it could just be a South Park episode, honestly. South Park should do an episode where they have Kamala Harris travel around to different cities and see how she treats people differently based on the race that she's talking to. Because I'm saying, if she is around a majority white crowd, she's not talking like that. She's not rolling out Meg Thee Stallion. She wants to be able to pander to Black people. And I guess pandering to Black people is inviting Meg Thee Stallion to twerk in front of them and using AAVE. And I guess for some it will work, but it does beg the question, what is it that you think of the Black intellect, that this is the way that you get them to vote for you? That you think just throwing some slang in your speech and inviting Meg Thee Stallion out to twerk is going to make them support you. Not all Black people support this culture. And certainly when they're going to support a president or a future president, someone that they want to be the future president at a rally, I don't know that they want Meg Thee Stallion twerking in front of them in order to really cement their vote. Talk about the issues. Talk about what's important. Don't throw some slang at me and some ass at me to get me to engage with you on a political level. And apparently not all people feel the same way about this. Not all Black people feel the same way about this. Here's a tweet that says, seeing Black people call Kamala's Atlanta rally ghetto is crazy. So many of you claim to be proudly Black, but still care very deeply about white acceptance. Oh, that's so weird. There's a lot of assumptions being made in this tweet here. First of all, that if you don't love ghetto culture, that somehow doesn't make you proudly Black. Now, I have a lot of qualms with wanting to be proudly Black in the first place or having pride in your race at all, given that it's not something that you had any part in. But ghetto is not synonymous with Blackness. There's a lot of different ghetto people. There's a lot of people who engage with ghetto culture who are and are not Black. And to think that the two things are synonymous, Blackness and ghetto culture, is a severe mistake, a severe misstep. And it actually keeps Black people back. It keeps us down because when we are associated with ghetto culture, which widely all across the world is not respected, you are asking that Black people not be respected. And when Kamala Harris comes to Atlanta and suddenly starts speaking in improper English and bringing out Meg Thee Stallion to twerk, it sort of insinuates that this is what Black people are. We need to be spoken to in this way in order to know that we gonna go to the polls and vote for Kamala because we Black, okay? When you speak to Black people like that, that is what you're insinuating, that we're dumb as rocks and that we're ghetto and that this is what we need in order to have a political message sent to us. Now, this person says that the Black people who call that rally ghetto are just vying for white acceptance. Why do you associate being grammatically correct and not wanting to throw ass at a political rally with being white and vying for white acceptance? Is it because you view white people as being more proper than Black people? Inherently, yes. And you know what that is? It's racist. It's prejudice. It's a bad ideology because we know that our race has little to do with who we are as people. And so long as Black people continue to associate themselves with ghetto culture and say that ghetto culture cannot be removed from Blackness, that's how far down the totem pole you are going to remain, because it's not indicative of Blackness. It is not a sign of Blackness that you engage with ghetto culture. It is something wholly separate. And I say that as somebody who loves to listen to rap music, who liked a lot of the songs on Megan Thee Stallion's new album, who will listen to that when I go to the gym and work out. I'm listening to hip hop in my free time. That doesn't mean that that is like a deep set part of my culture and who I am and twerking this and AAVE that. It just means it's something that I enjoy that is in no way related to my race. And the fact that we can't create that separation is astounding. Now, it's one thing for somebody on Twitter to say, if you're Black and you call this ghetto, you're crazy. It's another thing for Kamala Harris to think that this is the way to win an election in Atlanta. And the sad part is, in a lot of ways, she might be right. Like, this might actually send a message to Black people and make them feel like she is somehow connected to them because she invited Megan Thee Stallion and because she spoke in this way. To those people who think that, please, 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 please wake up to the pandering, wake up to the demoralizing way in which they view Black people. They think Black people are stupid, unintelligent. And Kamala Harris, who's being like toted around as this like the next Black female president or whatever, if this is her view of Blackness, that's pretty concerning, considering she's going to be drawn out as this, you know, first Black female president, which is just a whole nother issue that we don't need to get into today. Think better of yourselves and ourselves, and think better of the community that we now apparently find ourselves in just on the virtue of our of being born a certain race. It's so ridiculous, I think, to be lumped into this culture and be told that this is Blackness and be told that this is what resonates with Black people. And I'll go ahead and say right now, not all of us. It does not resonate with all of us. And these like little weak, simple pandering tricks that you're using as a politician leave a super bad taste in my mouth. They don't make me want to vote for you. They don't make me want to support you. In fact, they make me feel the exact opposite, that you do not deserve support because you have no idea the demographic of people you're talking to. And you are just leading with your own prejudiced views of Black people and thinking that that's going to make them vote for you. And for those that it works on, I don't know. All I can say is you're being pandered to by somebody who doesn't care and honestly thinks you're stupid and ghetto. Thinks you're stupid and ghetto. For real. Okay. And I can code switch. Okay. I'm allowed to do that. Kamala Harris, she's allowed to do it. She can do whatever she wants, but it's not hitting. And it doesn't make sense, to be honest. And how anybody can hear that and not cringe is beyond me. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
It's not serving, Kamala. It's not it. My favorite response to all this was actually from former superstar Dallas.
Never considered running for
Swing state voters. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you have the opportunity now to hear from swing state voters in Wisconsin and from Pennsylvania. Now, I've told you before, this election comes down to the swing states. Just a reality. We all know California is not going to be red, at least not in this election, right? So MSNBC interviewed Wisconsin voters about what they are looking for and what they feel is not, I guess, satisfying for them about Kamala Harris, why they will not be supporting her. And we also have another group that was interviewed by NBC in Pennsylvania. Both of these groups are different. They're different racially, and you also notice a difference with the gender as well. I don't know what that was all about. It's kind of weird. But you may notice, even though these groups are different, they seem to want similar things. Let's get started with the Wisconsin focus group here. And what are they worried about? First thing you're going to notice is it's all women. And I don't know why they don't have any men. When I saw this video, I was like, why are there no guys? They didn't interview any men. So I don't know, but here we go. Wisconsin Trump voters on Vice President Harris. Everyone needs to hear this. This is a swing state.
How do you perceive Vice President Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience?
I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border.
Right.
And that's what she was supposed to be doing and in charge of. I mean, as a school teacher, if I did not do what I was supposed to be doing, you better believe my job would be in jeopardy. Well,
we're going to pause here about the border. So again, while I do not support President Trump, she's correct there. She's right. Kamala Harris was assigned to the border, and a lot of people have been complaining about it, and not just on the right, by the way. Democrats, I had Black Democrats on this show complaining about what was happening at the border. So this is complaints I'm hearing from both sides, and that was assigned to Kamala Harris. That is something that Kamala Harris is going to have to answer for, particularly during the debates, but ultimately with this election.
it isn't. It not only was her job not in jeopardy, she was just handed a promotion.
Is there anyone that Kamala Harris could appoint as her vice president that you would find reassuring, would make you consider voting for her?
No. Never consider voting for her. No. I would know RFK Jr. way before her. Same. Absolutely.
Yeah. And she's not the first woman to run for the presidency, Hillary Clinton. I'm assuming no one voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So it's not necessarily going to sway you to vote for a woman in office. When do you think America will have a female president?
When there's a competent one.
I don't get a good feel for her.
I think she's an idiot.
Right.
Mary, why do you think that she's not that bright?
Because she hasn't done anything in the time that she's had. We don't know anything about her as far as her 3 years so far in the White House. She's not real smart.
How do you perceive?
So I want you guys to think about what was said there, right? Now, all women. So some of the comments that were made is that they don't think that Kamala Harris is smart. One of the women called her an idiot. There's that. But if you notice, they're all women, so they can't really call them misogynist, right? Now, I don't know if I would go as far as to call Kamala Harris an idiot. I will say, if someone were to ask me, do I think that Kamala is prepared for this and ready for this? No. Simply because she was given one task, and that was the border. And she has not completed, fulfilled, or improved what she was supposed to do with the border. So I would say, no, I don't think she's ready. When we get to the Biden sabotage story, you'll understand also why I'm saying what I'm saying, because there's a lot more that's been revealed now behind the scenes by Seymour Hersh. So we can get into all that as well. So I think that's a big part of it. And I guess I kind of understand why they had all women, because if they would have had men and maybe a man said that, then people would say, oh, they're just being misogynistic. But these are all women. That one woman said, if I didn't do my job, I would be fired. So these are things to think about. Do I think that some of the criticism towards Kamala Harris can be a little bit harsh and unfair? Yes. But when it comes to doing the job, again, her job was the border. And we can't erase that, guys. We can't erase that. Now we are moving to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. This panel is going to look a lot different. All Black voters. And I want you to hear what they have to say, because I want to prove a point. Different states, different races, but listen to what they have to say.
Does everybody know who they're voting for? Or is anybody undecided still?
I'm very undecided.
Undecided.
Right now, inflation. So I'm monitoring who's talking the most about inflation. Re-entry. I would like to see everyone who is a criminal with federal charges still be able to vote. If we can have a criminal for president, we need to allow some voting rights back that were taken illegally.
Pause. Did everyone notice the first thing that she said before we get to the criminality part? The first thing that came out of that woman's mouth was inflation. I am paying attention to who is talking about inflation. She said she is undecided. Now, why is this important? It's important because I have been calling this out all year. The Biden administration, which is now, I guess, essentially Kamala Harris administration, has not been honest with the American people about the economy. And you can lie to people as much as you want to, but people see it when they go to the stores. They see the price increase. They see their wallet. They know what's really happening. And they have been avoiding this issue. They've been trying to skirt around the economy by claiming that we created all these jobs. Great. That's nice. But the American people don't have a living wage to be able to take care of themselves, especially with the inflation that they've had to deal with the past couple of years. That is a problem. And it is a mistake of the Biden administration, which would include Kamala Harris, for them to sit here and pretend like economics is not a factor. It is a mistake for Kamala Harris to deny that there's an issue with inflation. The American people are not stupid. When I get to the survey that I received, I'm going to show you just how much they're trying to downplay this and pretend like the economy is not an issue. And it is going to be a problem. Mark my words. This will be a problem for Kamala Harris if they do not find a way to deal with the economic despair that people have in this country. And you don't fix that just by creating new jobs. We don't know what these jobs are paying people. The average American is not making a living wage. The average American is living paycheck to paycheck. And if they have any unexpected expense come up, for example, their car breaks down or whatever, or a medical expense, these people are this close to being evicted. And I've seen it happen to people in real life. So you can't skirt around, you can't dance around this issue. And a lot of the people who are dancing around it, like I had a little back and forth with Roland Martin on Twitter earlier today, you can afford to dance around it. A lot of people who are part of the Boule, they can dance around this because they have the money to dance around it. But if you go into communities where people are lower income, they can't ignore this issue. So listen to what this woman is saying.
In the first place.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
Who do you blame for it?
I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps.
And this is what I've been telling people about the grocery prices. Now, she mentioned a vegetable. The meat prices are ridiculous. Like, that's a $3 increase. Okay, so she mentioned food stamps. And this is something, again, like I said, if you've never been a part of this community, if you don't know what it's like to have to, use food stamps because you don't make enough money to pay for groceries on your own, I mean, you're given a certain amount. The Biden administration cut SNAP benefits. We can't start over this. We can't dance around this. The Biden administration cut SNAP benefits during a pandemic. Now they want to brag and say that they helped end half of child poverty. Then you turned around and you cut SNAP benefits and they kicked people off of Medicaid. They kicked people off of unemployment. So you can't sit up here and pretend like this is not an issue. It's an issue. Now, for those who push back and say, well, people should work hard, so that way they shouldn't have to be on food stamps. Just because you work hard doesn't mean you're making a living wage. I know people that work 2-3 jobs. They still not making a living wage. The rent continues to increase and you have inflation and you have the increase in grocery prices. Something has to give. Let's go on.
Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us. If you understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves.
Everyone hear this again. And I bet you JB would identify with this as well. Also, because again, my comrade JB talks about this all the time. He's on disability. Listen to what she says.
Working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5. Imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us.
Everybody hear that? They're killing us without killing us. They don't care about poor people. Both parties like to talk about the middle class. That's always a big thing, right? The middle class. Like we got to fix the middle class and all that kind of stuff. They don't ever want to talk about poor people, though. If you're poor, you're not even mentioned. Some people are born poor. And no, contrary to what Oprah Winfrey would have you believe, not everybody can be an Oprah Winfrey. That is far and rare. She's an outlier. Most people that are born poor will never get to that position. That's just the reality, folks. So yeah, they're killing you without, it's a different way of killing you. Because if you have to pay more for groceries, that means like, if you have a medical issue, you may have to just skip going to the doctor because you can't afford it. You may have health insurance, but maybe it's inadequate. So you can't afford another bill. This is a common thing for people who have lived in, lower income communities. My family grew up poor in Baltimore in the projects. My dad had 7 brothers and sisters. My mom had 5 brothers and sisters. They both grew up poor. And what people may not understand, if you've never had to go through that, it is not uncommon for people who are poor to skip going to the doctor because they can't afford the medicine, or they can't afford the doctor bill, or the insurance that they have isn't enough to even cover just the visit alone, let alone if the doctor wants to run a couple of tests. This is a reality. Let's continue.
If you understand that, they're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children, and I don't.
And that's a reality, folks. That's a reality. If you're in the chat and you grew up poor, let's say your parents grew up poor or you grew up poor, say yes, type yes in the chat. Because my grandparents went through this. There were often times where my grandmother would not eat so that her kids could eat.
Or how about feed my children, and I don't, but I have to go work.
Who feels as if Black voters are taken for granted, i.e., they make you promises and they don't deliver? What do you care about most right now?
Okay, let's look at the hands. Who feels that Black voters are taken for granted?
Black voters are taken for granted, i.e., they make you promises and they don't deliver. What do you care about most right now?
What are they going to do for my people that lives in the communities where I am from?
Okay, every one of them raised their hand. Now, with this voter group in Pennsylvania, we have men and women, different ages. All of them raised their hand and they said, yeah, the government doesn't care about us. They don't care about the Black voters. They're not doing anything for us. Now, I saw a number of you in the chat said yes, that you grew up poor. So you know what it's like. Either you grew up poor or your parents grew up poor. So you know what it's like. And this has been, Akio, I'm sorry, I was going to put you up here. I don't know what happened. We've been taken for granted. Yeah, and people continue to go out and vote. This is why, and I had to say this to Roland Martin because he was pissing me off on Twitter earlier today. Roland Martin trying to make excuses for Kamala Harris. And I said, Roland, there is no platform on her website. Her website says donate and there's a store. So she wants you to buy t-shirts, but she is not giving you any platform. I said, what is her agenda for Black voters? What's the agenda, Roland? Let me know, because I'm all ears. Let me know. I don't see no agenda for Black voters. It's just like they want these people, the people sitting here, they want those people to stay poor. They don't care about those people. The only time they come around is when they try to get a vote. The only time you see them coming through the neighborhood is when they want your damn vote. Other than that, they don't give a damn about you losing your SNAP benefits. They don't give a damn about what that woman just said, either I eat or my children eat. They don't give a damn about you, boo. And I've said this for the longest time. They really trying to push poor people out. They'd rather you die than help you. But they have $3.8 billion to give to Israel. Everyone in Israel has health care, but they don't want you to have health care. What? And the American people stand for this? And you guys continue to vote for them? No way. Would you see this happen in France? Do you think people in France would continue to vote for, someone like Macron or whoever if they weren't giving them health care? You think they would put up with that? Nope. They would be out in the streets.
The gun violence is second in my mind. But it's what can they do for us? How can they help? How can they go into a home and help that family to save their children? We need the funding. We want the help. But in my opinion, it starts at home.
It starts at home. Jaleel, what about you? What is most important to you right now?
Economics, education, reentry, reform.
Reentry to the criminal justice system.
Exactly. We need to save ourselves.
That's right.
If we're looking for somebody to save us, it's not going to happen.
I love that guy. That guy said it. He said my saying. He said it. He hit the nail on the. What did he say? We need to save ourselves. I told you. They're not coming to save you. Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party at one point in time did care about the working class. Not since I've been alive, though. But at one point in time, they did care about the working class. Then along the way, they became the party of Wall Street, Harvard grads, Goldman Sachs, and all that jazz. And they said, fuck those poor people. Forget the working class people. Forget them. They don't care about, they won't even raise the minimum wage. Are you kidding me? They gave up. They walked away and said, forget it. Let's get in bed with Wall Street. And that is what they've continued to do. And now they don't even talk to the working class. They don't even want to be bothered with you. You try to approach them and ask them a question, they run away. AOC runs away from you. What? After all those people in the Bronx gave her the little bit that they had so that she would fight for them, they run away from you. All they care about now are the Black Boule, like the Roland Martins and the Kamala Harris and the Van Jones and the Hillary Clintons. That's what they care about. And if you're not on their level academically or when it comes to class, they not really trying to do anything for you. And that is a problem. Working class people need a voice too. Poor people need a voice too. Your voice has been silenced by the elites because that's who they work for.
The system.
Exactly. We need to save ourselves.
That's right.
If we're looking for somebody to save us, it's not going to happen.
If you look at Philadelphia and you took the most impoverished areas in Philadelphia, and then you took the crime rate where the most crime is happening in Philadelphia, and you laid it right there, it would almost match up perfectly.
Mm-hmm. That's because crime and poverty are often linked.
So if you're seeing that much of a correlation between poverty and crime, you have to address that on some level. If we invest in our schools, invest in our youth, we will see some changes there.
The way I would articulate it is quality of life issues, how we live our everyday lives, right? So if that's jobs, if that's housing, if that's gun violence, if that's education, like everything that makes our lives good, that's what I vote for in mind.
Who votes with guns in mind on a federal level? When you cast your ballot at a presidential election for senators, for members of Congress?
Now, when you say guns in mind,
gun control, issues surrounding guns, background checks, all of you do.
Yes. I mean, that's us voting with us in mind.
Yeah.
You understand? When you say that, like this
You're
is
talking about your family.
You know, like when you ask me, am I voting with guns in mind? I'm voting. That means I'm voting with me in mind, because I could very much be a victim of gun violence.
You got to keep talking about it, keep talking about it. You have to consistently let people know this is not normal. It doesn't seem like people are angry enough to say no more, no more.
And we're going to keep talking about it. I checked in with these voters after the attempted assassination of the former president this past week, and they told me while it has not changed their positions on who they're going to vote for, they're still undecided. It does reiterate that guns are a major problem in this country. It's why people need to vote with gun control measures in mind. We're going to have much more of that conversation and our deep dive into gun violence in their community and what it's facing in the upcoming weeks. You don't want to miss that.
Thanks. Let me chime in here as well. So notice what she said. Even they're still undecided. Undecided. Black voters, Philadelphia. Didn't want to support, the black voters, Philadelphia. And then you heard white voters in Wisconsin. Now, I do just want to say something for those who may be new or those who may not be aware of this. Just because you hear black voters say they're concerned about, gun violence, that doesn't mean they're anti-gun. That doesn't mean that we don't want people to be able to own guns at all. Doesn't mean we're against the Second Amendment. Because for me, for example, I am not against the Second Amendment. I believe that you have the right to protect yourself. And I'll be damned if the police can walk around with guns, but you can't have a gun. Oh, hell no. Hell no. I thought it was a huge mistake for Beto to campaign on that and say, we're going to take your guns away. Nah, bruh. And the police still got guns? No. Now, I showed you swing state polls on Thursday. The polls have already changed again, and I think you need to see this. This was released yesterday. Decision Desk HQ at the Hill, head-to-head battleground polling averages. They have already changed. In Virginia, you have Kamala Harris at 44.9%, Donald Trump at 42.3%. Virginia will probably most likely go to the Democrat Party. I don't even really consider that a battleground state anymore, but whatever, they put it here. Wisconsin, we just heard from voters in Wisconsin, right? Donald Trump at 49.1%, Kamala Harris at 48.5%. So Wisconsin is close. Michigan, Donald Trump at 49.1%, Harris at 47.1%. So Donald Trump is beating in Michigan, slightly ahead in Wisconsin. Pennsylvania, we just saw voters from Pennsylvania. Donald Trump at 48.5%, Kamala Harris at 45.9%. So we have to keep our eye on Pennsylvania. I imagine this may change within about a month or so, but we'll keep an eye on it, especially considering if Kamala Harris does select Shapiro to be her VP, then that could help her in Pennsylvania, I think, but there's no guarantee she's going to select him. Shapiro is also pretty pro-censorship. He's the one that wants to censor or punish colleges that want to defund Israel. So just keep that in mind. Why is she even looking at him? See what I mean? Georgia, Donald Trump 47.9%, Kamala Harris 43.1%. As I told you before, I think Georgia will be red again. Arizona is 51.1% for Trump, Kamala Harris 44.7%. Again, I predicted Arizona will be red again. I also believe, that's a border state, so I think that's going to be a big issue. And then Nevada, 49.5% for Trump, and 40.9% for Kamala Harris. I also predicted that Nevada would turn red this election as well, because again, another border state. So here we are. So those are the polls right now. Now, it's continuing to change like every couple of days, so we'll keep an eye on that. At the same time, I want to show you something that I think is going to be a disaster for Kamala Harris's campaign if they don't fix this. Now, you just heard those voters talk about the economy. So the other day, I received a text message from Dem Assessment, and there was a link to a survey. So I click on the link. By the way, I'm not a registered Democrat. I'm a registered independent, but they sending this shit to everybody. So I click on the link. Guess what this is? You got to see this over here. Just received a text from Dem Assessment, which included this survey. Look at the options listed for top issues. Notice economy or inflation isn't listed. That's the number one concern of voters. The other issues do matter, but how the hell do you omit economy right now? So here we go. Your response is critical for our 2024 strategy. Do you approve of Kamala Harris? Of course, I said no. This is the problem, though. Which issues are currently a top issue to you? Look at what they listed. Codify Roe v. Wade, expanding access to birth control, passing paid family leave, expanding the Supreme Court, working towards racial justice, protecting voting rights, passing gun reform, protecting LGBTQ plus rights, passing Medicare, expanding Social Security, addressing climate change, other. This is not to say none of these issues are important, but I found it to be very odd considering that we're dealing with inflation. And when voters are polled, they've said the number one issue to them is the economy. And they didn't even list the economy as an option. Nowhere on here, no economy, no inflation. This, again, is this administration's effort to avoid what people have been saying about the economy. How can you not put this here? And there's other ones that could be on here as well. But obviously, I told you, they're really going to try to focus on Roe v. Wade, right? That's how they're really going to try to get a lot of the female voters, is to focus on the Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court overturning that. They're hoping that will be their meal ticket, even though I explained for you the Democratic Party could have codified Roe v. Wade into law years ago. This could have happened under Obama. All he had to do was abolish the filibuster, and this would have been a win. And he ran on it, by the way. Expanding access to birth control. That is a part of Medicare for all, right? So passing Medicare for all, that will be included in that. I agree with Medicare for all. I agree that everyone should have health care. I have, spoken at events for Medicare for all, Medicare for all. I've marched for Medicare for all. I agree with Medicare for all. So this is not to say I'm against any of this. What it is to say is you did not list the number one issue that voters have, which is the economy. And that is suspect as hell for me, fam. It's the economy, stupid. How can you not list this when right now people are on TV complaining about the grocery store prices, and people have been complaining for years? So that goes to show you what this administration is focused on. That's a big problem. Yes, I think we need to focus on Social Security. I don't even know if Social Security will be around by the time I'm old enough for Social Security. It's just a reality. Are they even going to have it? I don't know. Addressing climate change, protecting voter. This is the thing that kills me. Protecting voting rights. What does that even mean when you gerrymander districts? And both parties do this. Democrats and Republicans do this. So what do you mean? Passing gun reform. I feel like I heard this since the Clinton days. Working towards racial justice. This is a funny one. What do you mean working towards racial justice? What do you mean working towards it?
That's a scam.
Not fixing this, or see what I mean by the bare minimum? Come on, fam. Expanding the Supreme Court. I agree there need to be changes on the Supreme Court. But again, when I'm thinking about the bread and butter issues, that's not the number one thing that pops into my mind. You know what I'm saying? Nothing here about minimum wage. Nothing here about a living wage. You see what they're talking about? Passing paid family leave. Let me tell you something about that. Your best bet is getting that done through the states. We passed it here in Massachusetts. I think more states should opt in for this. Passing paid family leave. It was done a lot faster on the local level. Like, it's crazy we even have to pass that, right? This is what I don't understand about this country. Other countries, just everybody just gets paid family leave. What do you mean passing that? But it is what it is. But how can you not focus on the economy? I don't get this. No economy. No economy. Number one issue, but according to the Democratic Party or to the Harris administration, apparently not an important issue. Someone mentioned in the chat reparations. Well, you know she wasn't going to put that on there. But yeah, That right there let you know. Remember what she said. She's not trying to do anything specifically for Black community.
They have competed for many years, and I actually think it's not helpful to start stigmatizing people who take part in sport like this. But they are women. They competed in Tokyo. I think we all have a responsibility, by the way, to try to dial down this and not turn it into some kind of witch hunt. These are regular athletes who've competed for many years in boxing. They're entirely eligible. They're women on their passports, and that I think is enough said from me.
This is some rather wild and disturbing information coming out of the 2024 games. And the 2024 games started very controversial. It started with this exact same controversy where they were saying we were not mocking the Last Supper. We were not mocking Christians. It's all about inclusivity. It's all about one. We are one people. No matter if you are a female, no matter if you are a male, we are all the same. We have absolutely no differences. Well, tell that to this female boxer right here who actually said she feared for her life. Now, Italian boxer Angela Carini is quoted as saying, "I quit to save my life after stopping 2024 games bout with biologically male opponent Ayman Khalif just 46 seconds into the first round." That is insane. That is absolutely insane. It's sad and it's scary that you can be somebody, a female, training your whole life to box. You are accepted into the Olympics, a once-in-a-lifetime event, thinking you are going to fight against other female boxers, and here you are fighting against a man. You have to think about it. When it comes to boxing, professional boxing, and so forth, men and women boxers are already separated by their weight. There's heavyweights, featherweights, middleweights, and so forth. So if we're talking about just male boxing alone, male professional boxing, they already separate male boxers when it comes to how they are physically shaped. And yet, during the 2024 games, when it comes to the 2024 games, none of that matters. All of that goes out the window. The differences do not matter because the theme of the 2024 games is all about inclusivity. We are one. So Angela Carini had to go up against a male boxer. Now, what I don't understand is that they do a gender test on these athletes. Those that were doing the test already knew that Ayman Khalif failed the gender test, yet they still let him box against Angela Carini. Matter of fact, they already knew that Ayman Khalif failed a gender test back in 2023 when he tried to compete in female boxing in the World Championships in New Delhi. He was disqualified when they found out he had both chromosomes. All it took was 2 punches from Ayman. That's all it took. The bout, like I said, only lasted 46 seconds. With Carini yelling, "This is unjust," before she fell to the canvas and wept, having her 2024 games dreams snatched away from her. Angela said the savage force of the blows made it impossible to continue. Speaking out following her loss, Carini revealed she quit to safeguard her life, adding, "I couldn't carry on. I have a big pain in my nose, and I said stop. It's better to avoid keeping going."
But the reason we're looking at this is on the election. This is on we voting for this in November. Yes, this right here. Because the Democrats saying, well, this is okay because there's no such thing between them as a man and a woman. That is on their platform. And that a man could wake up and say he's a woman, and a woman could wake up and say she's a man if they feel like it. And then guess what? You get this.
My nose started dripping from the very first hit. She continued to say, "It could be the match of my life, but in that moment, I had to safeguard my life too. I felt to do this. I didn't have any fear. I don't have any fear of the ring or to get hit. I fought very often in the national team. I trained with my brother. I've always fought against men, but I felt too much pain today." Even though she says that she fought against men, even though that she trains with her brother, she continues to let us know that she has never felt such strong blows in a contest before.
No,
Speaking after the match, the heartbroken Italian said,
I'm used to suffering. I've never taken a punch like that. It's impossible to continue. I'm nobody to say it's illegal. She also says that she did
Somebody
not
go
walk
get
away from
killed,
the
man.
fight as a protest against her opponent's inclusion, but that was a decision for the 2024 games to consider. She was taken away for medical assessment to examine the seriousness of her facial injuries, which included a bruised nose. A lot of what I'm reading from Angela Carini is that she's trying to tiptoe. She's trying to walk on eggshells.
All
She
of
doesn't
that
want to
from a
say
few
anything to
punches.
offend anybody, given the environment that
If
she's
she would
in.
have tried to toughen it up, she would have got killed in that ring.
Where, like I said, the theme is inclusivity, that we are one. So she's not trying to say anything that may ruin her future career, but at the same time, she's saying it hurt, that it's not fair, right? On one hand, she fought all her life that she's a warrior, but on the other hand, she had the maturity to quit because her life was at risk. She's telling people, you saw my nose, you saw what actually happened on camera, you saw how messed up my face was from just 2 blows. I didn't walk
2
away in
blows,
protest
man. And her
of
face
what
was
was
blue.
happening at the ceremony. I'm not a person that offends anybody. I'm not a person that starts any controversy, but at the same time, look at my nose. And it's sad that she has to explain herself. That is horror on a personal level. She couldn't back away. She couldn't back down. She couldn't walk away because she would be canceled. She would be considered prejudice due to the theme of the games once again. She would look like she's in protest. Thus, everything she was training for all her life would go down the drain once she is canceled. So she continued to fight. She didn't want to look like a punk, but realization set in 46 seconds into the match after she only took 2 blows from this man who is also a boxer. There is nothing prejudiced to say that I don't want to fight against this man, given once again, they separate male boxers in male professional boxing by their weight. So why shouldn't they also separate them by their gender? That is absolutely crazy that I even have to explain that. That goes to show the times we are living in. Why men and women should not box in the ring, because genetically, they're different. Karini's coach in the mixed zone after the fight said, I don't know if her nose is broken. I have to speak with the girl, but many people in Italy tried to call and tell her, don't go, please. It's a man. It's dangerous for you. It is just so funny at the same time because they are trying to give us this message at the opening ceremony. Once again, how we're one, we should all be inclusive. And this just goes to show why we should also celebrate our differences as well. There's nothing wrong with being different. We can respect one another, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with being different and have our differences. What is even crazier is that this is not going to stop there. That Ayman Khalif now qualifies for the quarterfinals. That she can go ahead and give other female boxers 2 pieces and win. After the clash, the Algerian Boxing Federation gloated about Khalif's victory, posting on Facebook congratulations to the Algerian boxer Ayman Khalif, who responds strongly in the ring and qualifies for the quarterfinals after defeating the Italian Angelina Carini in less than 46 seconds effortlessly. The Algerian added, there is no way what I'm reading here is real. It can't be. It can't be real. This has to be satire. This can't be real. The Algerian added, difficult for a first fight. What was difficult? What was difficult is that you finished the fight in 2 blows, then 1. Were you expecting to be the one punch man? What was difficult about that fight? He continues to say that I am very prepared because it's been 8 years of preparation. What world am I living in? This is absolutely crazy. And of course, the IOC, the committee, the games committee, will let Ayman continue because if they don't, it's going to go against the theme of the opening. This is wild. I just realized almost 8 minutes into this video, this man, this male boxer, their first name is Ayman. Ayman. I am done. I'm done this story. It has to be satire. I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm just going to go ahead and continue a little bit more, but I am finished this story. So then what does the IOC, once again, the games committee, say about the boxers? The IOC has defended its decision to allow the 2 boxers to compete by saying, I would just say that everyone competing in the women's category is complying with the competition eligibility rules. IOC spokesman Adams said on Tuesday they are women in their passports, and it is stated that is the case. So then, once again, what was the purpose of the gender test? What gender do you have to be to disqualify you from the boxing match? A helicopter? I don't get it. Somebody make this make sense to me. So what do the other boxers say? Once again, they're trying to walk on eggshells while at the same time saying it's not right. For instance, this boxer here is saying, if you're talking about fighting an actual man, then no, I'm not cool with fighting a man. But in their case, I can't say specifically on them because I don't know their scenario or situation. Another boxer says, biologically, genetically, they're going to have more advantages. She's talking about men in combat sports and that it can be dangerous. Angela Carini, unfortunately, was in minutes of horror. But at the end of the day, this is the world that we currently live in. But in any case, I do want to hear from you.
Sports on YouTube. The no holds barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, black and white sports supporters, today was a very, very scary day at the Olympics. You guys know it only took 2 punches for a woman to actually withdraw from a fight because she actually had to fight a man that wanted to masquerade as a woman. Now, this man was actually banned last year by the boxing commission because they found out that he was a man. But the woke Olympics said, it's okay. Come over to the Olympics and beat up on women. That's exactly what happened, guys. And the Olympics, man, is catching a bunch of heat from everyone. They are getting absolutely destroyed for allowing this to happen, man. A woman could have got severely injured, if not lose her life. And she got robbed of an opportunity to actually really win a match at the Olympics. Absolutely disgusting, guys. So guess what? Guess who the IOC is blaming? They're not blaming themselves. They are now attacking you. People that actually criticize this mockery right here. Unbelievable, guys. Absolutely unbelievable that the IOC is not taking any responsibility, man. You see, wokeness will get people hurt, man. Wokeness will get people killed. Now, if you guys remember, I believe earlier this year, I did a video on this channel about a volleyball player. She actually was going up against a transgender. Guess what happened? The transgender actually spiked the ball in her face. And we just found out, guys, that this girl is like paralyzed now. Yeah, she has like, what do they call it? Like her brain is messed up now, has not recovered. This is what happens when you actually have males and women's sports, guys. But let's get into it. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, member live stream every single Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you guys can also support us by becoming a member on blackandwhitenetwork.com or supporting us on Locals, both for just $5 per month. So let's get into it. Here we go. International Olympic Committee blasts aggression towards fighters who failed IBA gender tests, defends right to compete. Utterly disgusting, guys. Because the female fighter, Angela Carini, was actually in tears. Tears because she got an opportunity stolen from her by this man right here. Look here. It says the IOC is lashing out at critics of 2 fighters who failed the International Boxing Association's gender test in 2023, calling the questioning of their right to compete as females.
It's only the beginning if you don't vote. All that sit on the couch and shit, this you're going to get more of this. There's going to be more of this in our society. You know, the women don't stand a chance, but this is where they're going. All sports. Very dangerous, you know, very disgusting. but this society that all these so-called Christians, all these individuals who going to church on Sunday, talking about the Most High, but then they voting blue. What the hell? You can't hide from this. This is your policy. Oh, Trump is a racist. Well, yeah, but look what you enjoying.
Females aggression. They are attacking you guys. Aggression was certainly on display Thursday as Algeria's Iman Khalif, one of two fighters who failed the IBA's gender test in 2023, hit Italian female fighter Angela Carini so hard that she quit the match in less than a minute. Now, we still got this other fighter from Taiwan.
That's the damn truth.
I don't know exactly when he's fighting. We're probably going to actually find out overnight that he actually fought a female too. Goes on here. Carini collapsed to the canvas in tears before exiting the ring and telling reporters that she had never taken a punch like that. It's impossible to continue. Yes, folks, because biology is a real thing. It's a real thing. Still, despite the display of Khalif's obvious disproportionate power compared to an Olympic caliber female athlete, the IOC blasted the IBA's decision to disqualify the Algerian and double down on its defense of Khalif's right to compete at the Paris Games. Now, the IOC knows they're getting blasted now. Now they're actually shifting the blame to the governing body that actually banned these men. Unbelievable. Look here, it says, quote, "We have seen in reports misleading information about two female athletes," these are men, by the way, "competing at the Olympic Games Paris in 2024. Read the joint statement from the Paris Boxing Unit and the IOC. The two athletes have been competing in international boxing competitions for many years in the women's category, including the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, International Boxing Association, World Championships, and IBA sanctioned tournaments. Yeah, but the thing is, the IBA found out that these are not women, and they said, no, you're done. You can't compete. Just because they were competing in the past doesn't mean it's right to allow.
And the dude kept saying, they have woman on the passport or whatever. So what? What the hell are you talking about? This is disgusting, man. This is very disgusting. But I heard that BlackRock or one of these big mega companies, they pay for companies to do this. If you push this, they pay you more. They pay. That's real talk. That's why a lot of people in Congress are pushing that, because you get paid to push this. Businesses get paid to push this. Governments get paid to push this. This serious business.
Allow them to compete now. You guys knew that these were males, but you guys said, we don't care. Come over here and destroy women. The committee blamed the IBA's decision to disqualify Khalif and Taiwanese fighter Lin Yu Ting on flawed testing policies. They're saying the tests are flawed? Really? I mean, look at the pictures, guys. These are men. But this is what the committee says.
It's only a matter of time for those transgenders to start beating them women and swimming. Man, ain't no women gonna beat no transgender swimmer, man. They just swimming. They gonna start beating them in tennis. Even Serena Williams said that she cannot beat. I'm in there saying Serena should play a male tennis player, and she said, well, her Venus. One of them said, man, come on, let's just be serious. I can't beat no man. This is so true. Let's just stop that right now. But guess what? If the Democrats have their way, they're gonna clean up they going after all of the women. See, they don't like women. They're going after all of the women's trophies. See, and this is males who suck at sports unless they go play women.
Two athletes were the victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA. Towards the end of the IBA World Championships in 2023, they were suddenly disqualified without any due process. According to the IBA minutes available on their website, this decision was initially taken solely by the IBA Secretary General and CEO. The IBA board only ratified it afterwards and only subsequently requested.
See, when they mocked the Lord's Supper and had transgenders up there and gay people and bearded people and weirdos, it's just like, what? I mean, that wasn't even funny. Like, it's like, why would you do that? What type of sick shit is y'all thinking? I mean, if y'all want to do that, do it. But why mock the Last Supper? Why do that? So, that's what's disgusting. Well, they say, oh, that's freedom of religion and that's civil rights. You see what I'm saying? Civil rights mean to disrespect I've been telling you, they freedom of speech has always been to disrespect our culture. You see what I'm saying? Laughing and mock us at the end of the day. Don't ever think everybody gave a damn about no Lord's Supper and Yahshua and most. I asked they Johnny come latelys. They're laughing at you. And they're killing your spirit. And then drag it out. See, we didn't get involved in a lot of this hanky-panky. We Johnny come lately to this type of hanky-panky. No. We don't like that type. So that's why our cars fighting and some of our people just gave up. But we the last of the last. Y'all who rejecting that, y'all the last of the last. But so they know, okay, forget about them. Go after the kids now. When we grew up, they weren't trying to transition us. Now they're going after our babies. My grandson, they're going after them now. And if I speak up, you going to jail. So I got to fight jail, hell, whatever. We got to stand up. Because like Kim say, silence and compliance. We can't comply with this. But that's where we at now. So that's why I tell people, I've been saying this. That's my first order of business about this voting. This is on the ballot box. I can actually challenge these black preachers. I can challenge these people right in church. Wait, what the hell are you talking about? They shame on them. Now they got to admit they don't know what they're talking about. They just saying anything because somebody told them to vote blue, no matter who.
That a procedure to follow in similar cases in the future be established and reflected in the IBA regulations. The minutes also said that IBA should establish a clear procedure on gender testing. Thing is, man, they were suddenly disqualified. Yeah, because they found out that they were men.
First of all, we don't need no Olympics. That's demonic. You see, we got to stop participating in everything that they. No, it's been demonic. You know what used to go on at the Olympics? They had 6 lions on you. And, man, you got to fight a tiger while they laugh at you. And tiger rip you to pieces. Are you kidding me? It's the bloodlust. This just a little friendly competition. Used to be to the death. Then they start letting people live. Oh, okay, the winner. This is serious business, man. They try to dress it up a little cute. Can't put lipstick on a pig like a country boy say. This is disgusting, man. Don't never be part of this. Well, just think of Olympics. Think of Hitler. They let Hitler go to the Olympics, man. The white man rules the world until they lost that race. They still didn't care. But I'm just saying, don't ever think that it was just some good old natural fun. Hell no, ain't nothing fun about this type of crap.
It's just that simple, man.
See?
But it goes on.
Who's most superior?
The committee then took
Who's most superior? It's always been, we most superior than you. And one thing about the United States, I never liked, they always treat us like shit. Then we go over there and win all them gold medals for them. Then they say, oh, USA won. But, we feeling real American nowadays. But for years, they didn't give a shit about us, but then they just we got them all that gold. Send some of our greatest boxers. They act like they knock people out. Right now, our basketball players. That's the real you kicking butt, but a lot of racists, a lot of racist people, they got to stop being racist and chill for them brothers because they won't go. You see what I'm saying? That's real goddamn talk, man.
Aim at the aggression mounted against 2 fighters. Quote, the current aggression against these 2 athletes is based entirely on this arbitrary decision, which was taken without any proper procedure, especially considering that these athletes have been competing in top-level competition for many years. Like I said, that doesn't matter. You guys knew that they were men, that these fighters are men, but you didn't care. Quote, such an approach is contrary to good governance. Wow. I mean, this is just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Now they're going after you. Now they're blaming the IBA. The IBA was actually trying to keep women safe. But the IOC, now that a woman was out there, got punched twice, said enough, I can't take anymore. Now they're getting destroyed. Now they're trying to shift the blame. They're blaming you for aggression. Aggression. Unbelievable, man. The IOC definitely needs real reform, guys. Real reform. Nobody should be supporting the IOC. Nobody should be watching these Olympics. Bad enough, man, that opening ceremony was woke. Super woke. This is the wokest Olympics ever, man. And now you actually had a man punch and fight a woman. And it's going to happen again. And then again. When will it stop? This is unbelievable, guys. This needs to stop immediately. immediately. Shame on
him. I just seen something about Dwayne Wade. He invested in the WNBA. Now, when I heard Dwayne Wade invested in the WNBA, what's the first thing? When I say Dwayne Wade, WNBA, what comes to your mind? Because it's damn sure what came to my mind was some Greek freak BS when I think about his son. I'm telling you right now, that's where they're going. To people like Dwayne Wade's son, hey, he can play in the WNBA because he's a woman. Now, if Dwayne Wade's son keeps on this transition, he can't play in the NBA. He can't play in the NBA because he's in transition. So why would they send Dwayne Wade's son, who is cosplaying as a woman, to the WNBA? Now here's Dwayne Wade say he's invested. I'm telling you, man, this is the type of shit they're trying to set up.
On the IOC, man. They're actually defending this. They're actually defending a woman possibly getting killed in a ring. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports.
But it don't stop there. It don't stop there because I seen
But just on a physical, biological level, there is an advantage. So what do you say to young girls who want to be in this sport, but see something like this and think, I don't have a chance? Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, bringing you another report on the war on women's sports. A biological male who identifies as a female is likely about to dominate over others.
Now, here you have a male who dominating over the females in the powerlifting competition. Can't beat none of the males in the powerlifting competition. So say, fuck it. I'm a female. And then go clean up all of the awards.
Powerlifting in Port Coquitlam. The individual's name is Audrey Yun. We've reported on this individual before, but today we're going to take you with us to see what happens.
This on the ballot box. This type of stuff, see, people could pretend that's why the black community, we're going to have this out. All of these brothers that's telling me they're going to vote for Kamala and they voting Democrat, cool, brother, because this is where you taking society to. Oh, I ain't with that. Yeah, you is. You voting for it. I don't like Trump. Well, you love this. Which one? You hate Trump, but you love this. Don't you? Don't you love it? Because you can't have both. Do you want this? Or do you want somebody who's going to stand against this? That's what's on the ballot box.
Today's event is being put on by the British Columbia Powerlifting Association. Now, that association is under the Canadian Powerlifting Union. Why is that significant? Because it's the same union that banned April Hutchinson, the elite powerlifter who we've done many reports on at standwithapril.com, because that union actually had her suspended for 2 whole years initially for speaking out about this issue. We're going to see if anybody else is going to speak out about what's probably about to happen today. Audrey Yun, who we've reported on before, dominated over women in the sport of strong women, already taking medals from biological women while identifying as a woman themselves. And no surprise, Yun is in the highest weight category. And something else you should know is that Yun just stepped out of a 6-month suspension from Strong Women for harassing other women. But open arms by this union inside for Yun to probably take some more medals. And in the past, Yun has taken cash prizes from female.
Imagine this. This is our society. This is our society. This is crazy. A man go to the women's powerlifting thing and then win all the awards. Come on, man.
Competitors. And that's in addition to Yun putting up things like this on Instagram about, I wonder if they'll be upset if I piss beside them. How tasteful. Let's see what happens.
I advocated for the third category and with Strongman Corp Canada, and I think that people need to start advocating for the very obvious transgender category that needs to be created with the BCPA.
That's right. We have a full interview with Maria, who also had to compete against Yun. So I'll link that in the description box below. What's your thoughts on what you're seeing in there, and how does it feel? Because Yun has gone from your league, if that's the correct word, over to being able to dominate here.
It's not surprising, actually. She has opened with lifts that are way more than the other women, and it's obvious. It's also really uncomfortable, like the audience, the fans, the people that are working, the volunteers, like there's an air of silence and awkwardness, and it's just an uncomfortable environment. I don't know who knows or if anyone knows what's going on, but it's just a place that it's obvious and it needs to be like, she needs to be in his own category. So Strongman Corp Canada created a third open category, and to this date, nobody has signed up to compete. And I still stand by what I say. If anybody wants to compete in the open category, I will absolutely hop in the open category and compete alongside them.
Just a couple of questions about whether or not you think it's fair to go on the podium, take a medal, even cash prizes in the past. Do you support the idea of there being another category that's a little bit more fair on a biological level, one that you don't have to dominate women who just, in some cases, don't have a chance against you? You were temporarily banned for harassment of other women. Do you want to say anything about that? Okay, the question I think people really want to know is, why do you think people think it's transphobic to want a more fair category? To want something where people can compete, they can train, and it's more fair? Is that a song you like? So,
She says, that's all you like? Try to do a job.
does it feel like a really good win to get to just dominate? Like, it's okay to be trans, there's nothing wrong with that. But just on a physical, biological level, there is an advantage. So what do you say to young girls who want to be in this sport, but see something like this and think, I don't have a chance? What about the comment about peeing beside the other women, the other female competitors? Do you think that's okay? Well, it would be nice if you could speak to kind of, get the message out, the message you stand for when you take medals and cash prizes from other female competitors who are female. All right, well, congrats again. You've dominated again. Good job.
No real surprise with Audrey's behavior. I don't like having competed against Audrey in Strongwoman. There was no verbal contact between us. It was all online. So zero surprises. Audrey's hiding behind the keyboard.
Speaking of hiding, Audrey and Audrey's partner, who you saw in the footage there, who also identifies as a trans woman, went back in there. They went to the front desk. What did you see on the inside? I hung out trying to find some other athletes and stay out of trouble.
So I saw the pair of them approach the president and several of the people that were running the BCPA. They circled around Audrey and walked to the front desk. And that's where I believe they made some sort of complaint. And there was a bunch of them on the phone.
Well, we've done nothing wrong here except just ask questions. Ask the questions that many in the public want to know. How is this happening? How is this continuing? Why isn't there a fair category? That's also why I reached out to this association by email to try to get their answers to that. I haven't heard back at this time. And what about Yun throwing on a political Free Palestine t-shirt just before taking the podium? Irony aside, I wanted to know how doing so fits into the strict approve apparel list posted on the association's website, or how it aligns with the CPU's so-called commitment to inclusivity when Jewish athletes are considered. Again, I haven't heard back at this time, but I guess that gives competitors like Hutchinson the green light to wear her Keep Female Sports Female t-shirt next time they take the podium. But I did get a chance to talk to another competitor about how she competed today and her thoughts on the fact that there is a biological male in the women's category.
I mean, the IOC and the Olympics, they've made their decision, and I think that the rest of sport can follow suit. And I think that I think everything else in terms of regulation speaks for itself. So I think if the Olympic Committee says it's okay, then it's okay with me. I'm honored to compete with trans women, at any competition.
So what do you think? Very supportive, at least that's what Michelle had to say there. What do you think? Why are so many other women supportive of this? And then the ones that aren't, silent?
I think the majority of the women are afraid to speak in truths and reality, and there is a very clear biological advantage. I mean, as time is going on, sports are progressing into more third categories, and even some of the Olympics, like swimming, there's now a third category as well. I think women don't speak up, or they're afraid to speak up, and if we don't unite and stand together, we will lose the female category for sure.
Well, there you have it. Maria Barwig, Drea Humphrey with Rebel News.
Cultfigga, follow me.